You'll 100% see the Northamptonshire Steelbacks. Sponsored by Hero number 27, Ricardo Vasconcelos. Number 38, Nathan Sweeney. Sponsored by Michelle Alati Mobility, Calvin Harrison. Sponsored by Anne Paladin, number 23, Captain Cleveland. Sponsored by Country Lion, number 18, Saint Zane. Assembly Louis Kimber. Sponsored by Travis Smith, Wiki, number 15, Lewis McManus. Number 14, Jules Butler. Sponsored by Greenshine Hospital, number 5, James Sanders. Sponsored by Whitworth, Diana, Ivy, 26, Ben Sanderson. And finally, number 8, George Stringell.
Good afternoon and welcome to Steelbacks TV here at the Cinch County Grounds. The T20 Blast returns on this sunny Sunday afternoon in Northampton. It's the Steelbacks hosting Somerset in the Central and West group of the 2026 Vitality Blast. The Steelbacks unbeaten, 8 wins from 8 in the group games so far. Somerset, a different record, but a team they've put out today star-studded with quality. David Willey won the toss half an hour ago, elected to have a bowl first. So Somerset will be batting with Joshua Thomas and Will Smeed. My name is Dan Jadzovic, joined by Phil Rowe, the assistant coach here at Steelbacks in 2013 and 2016. And Rowe, well, we know those years were good vintage.
Yeah, they were good vintage, yeah. And but we never won 8 from 8, that's for sure. And not only have they won 8 from 8, but some of the performances, and in particular, they've grown during those 8 wins. The win last Wednesday down at Bristol was nothing short of fantastic. And I know David Willey in particular was extremely pleased with the way they went about that run chase. Obviously, he got a few again himself, but he wasn't blowing his own trumpet. He was very proud of the performance that night. Today, however, although it's sort of top against bottom in terms of where the teams are, forget that, because as we were talking about beforehand, we both think that this Somerset team will probably provide the sternest test so far that the Steelbacks have faced. And that's because they're full of match winners who have done it many times, and many of them around the world. So this will be a very good game of cricket.
Certainly will. Steelbacks will line up as follows. It'll be Ricardo Vasconcelos, Nathan McSweeney, Calvin Harrison, David Willey, Safe Save, Louis Kimber, Lewis McManus, George Bartlett, James Sales, Ben Sanderson and George Scrimshaw. So one change from that game against Gloucestershire. And then Somerset, who have had a slight tweak in their batting order, will open up with Will Smeed on strike. And I believe that's Thomas Rue at the non-strikers ends. With Tom Kohler-Cadmore, James Rue, Josh Thomas, Lewis Goldsworthy, Dan Sams, Craig Overton, Josh Shaw, Riley Meredith and Jake Ball.
Just before we kick off, let me give a shout out to the Guard of Honour before the start, which was Kislandberry under 11s were a part of that. And today they won the league. Congratulations to all involved in that. Lee Daggett is one of their coaches, if not the head coach. And his lad Joshua plays in that team, as does Greg Smith's son Dylan. So back to the big game, but well done, Kislandberry.
Congratulations. David Willey from the David Capel ends on the money, as you would expect. And a watchful start from Will Smeed, fresh of 100 earlier this week against Cornwall in the List A exhibition games that the counties are playing. So in good touch.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever in bad touch, is he? If he's in bad touch, he's probably out, because this kid can hit a cricket ball. He is no respecter of line and length either.
Certainly not. Slip in place, though, for David Willey. Vasconcelos finds himself there. Time nicely to save Zabe. It's almost a must-win game for Somerset.
I think
no doubt about that.
Yeah, I think it is a must-win game. Somerset, like Northampton, they've got 4 games left, and if they win all 4, mathematically, that gives them a chance of qualifying. And they may win all 4 and still not qualify. That's how they've got themselves adrift, which is incredible. They are the holders of this trophy. Let's not forget that. And as I said earlier, the team they put out most weeks, and including this week, is a little bit scary.
Beauty, pace, bit of extra bounce from David Willey.
Old Will.
We've had the privilege of watching the Steelbacks take on Gloucestershire this morning. Rowe, and you in the mid-innings or the mid-game break, you kind of thought there might be a few interesting bits in this surface.
Yeah, there were just a few balls that sort of misbehaved, weren't there? The ball bounced, as that one did, particularly for the slower bowlers. It bounced considerably, I would say. And that one from Will really went through.
Beautifully timed. Will Smeed has hit David Willey off his length. He's just shimmied at him, and he has timed the seam off of it through the offside, crashes into the boundary boards, and it's 4 for Will Smeed and Somerset.
That ball was hit so hard. It's difficult to explain quite how hard he's hit that. And he's coming inside that, so it's not full face. He's coming across the back of the ball to get it square of the wicket. There's nothing wrong with that delivery.
changing the field straight away, isn't it? Calvin Harrison drops down to backward point on the boundary. Slip goes out. Vasconcelos goes in at short cover. Good response.
Good length up. There's a little bit there for that length. I mean, throughout the competition, he's just Will Smeed's looking at his stickers there, and that's the length you want to be hitting as a bowler. Hit the stickers, hit the splice. For those of us who remember bats before they had stickers, hit the splice, and that one did very much hit the splice. And that says there is a bit of bounce in this pitch, which is good. Good players want bounce, and poor players are a bit frightened of it generally.
Yeah, one man out at deep square. That's the one for Will Smeed to keep an eye on if he tries to take David Willey on. Down the leg side into the pads. Will be a leg by to complete the over. George Scrimshaw electing not to throw. End of the first over, 5 runs for Somerset on the board, and Will Smeed will keep the strike.
I think he missed out there, Will Smeed. It was probably the poorest ball that David has bowled in that over. It was almost capable of being drop kicked over square leg, but was going just down the leg side, and he missed out, leg by. Take that 5 off the first over. A little bit of swing, a little bit of bounce.
Yeah, good start for the Steelbacks. And to back David Willey up is going to be his good mate, Ben Sanderson from the Lynn Wilson centre end. We saw a spin at the start against Gloucestershire with Louis Kimber. Saw him earlier marking his run-up out. So change of plan here at home. Maybe a smaller ground might have something to do with that.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah. It could also have been just that first over, a bit of bounce. There's a bit of bounce here for your Sando. Slip is in again. I like that George Scrimshaw, that third man, short third man is very fine. I like that position. Sometimes they get too square.
Sanderson to Smeed. Pulled away 6 runs. No doubt about that at all. Over the NME stands. 6 for Will Smeed. Probably not onto the hip for Will Smeed.
Yeah, that's not what he's trying to bowl. That is it. You have a very, very fine margin. That is for sure. But for Sando, he's missed that by about, yeah, he's probably three and a half stumps away from the line he wanted. He wants to be bowling that just over off bail, and it was probably going over leg bail, and it was helped on its way with a bit of acceleration of the bat as well. That's gone a long way. I expect this to be a high-scoring game. There's a bit of bounce in the pitch. The outfield is absolutely like glass. And 2 teams who just love putting bat to ball. What I've enjoyed about Sando this year and over the last few years in T20 cricket is that he hasn't blinked. You know, he's backed himself to keep executing and has generally won the battle.
Responds straight away, doesn't he? As you say, he's probably up until the last couple of years first and foremost known for his red ball attributes and the partnership that he had with Jack White here for a long time for Northamptonshire. And then the last 2 or 3 seasons has come into this T20 team, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Probably to the willingness of David Willey, I would think. And
I think,
he's
yeah,
really done well.
I think Will respects Sando, likes him on the field. Come back to that in a sec.
Smeed down the ground this time. Another 6, another monster. Absolutely no doubt about that. That's 6 and some.
And that was slightly over pitched. You might look at that and say that was in the slot. I think it was just the wrong side of a good length. Let's have a little look on the. Oh, he's come down the wicket. There's not a lot wrong with that ball. Just a little shimmy down the pitch, and he's made it into a slot length. And from there, wow, has he executed? Keeper's coming up.
Yeah, keeper up straight away. As you say, Ben Sanderson held his length. Will Smeed created the length that he wanted and punished him down the ground. I mean, that's a monstrous strike. Over long on. McManus up to the stumps. Helmet on. Oh, beautifully well bowled. Just slides on. Smeed does well to keep it out. He's on 16.
Yeah, we said, I think we said that Will Smeed can hit a cricket ball. He's hit 3 boundaries so far, and each of them has gone a very long way. For me, the 4 through point off David Willey was the shot so far. But I've seen enough of this now, Will Smeed. Thanks for that. Hi, lovely. You've done your job. You've entertained me. Jog on.
Slower ball. Bit of a hack inside edge, well fielded, save on the 45. Just one.
That could have gone anywhere, couldn't it? On your day, that goes back into leg stump.
Yeah, but it races past the diving fielder at 45 and travels off to the boundary rope. So this will be our first look here at the Cinch County Ground of Thomas Roux. Stocks are very, very high in the England under-19 captain and wicket-keeper. Hundreds in first-class cricket this year for Somerset in the championship. A big appeal for LBW. Quick shake of the head from the umpire. And a dot ball to end the second over, much to the bemusement of Ben Sanderson. 18 for no loss.
I mean, I think it was quite a confident appeal on the line. I would say height was an issue, and I didn't know whether I just heard two noises. Certainly there was enough doubt there. Let's have a look at it on the... Yeah, it's a little bit high, isn't it? It's a little... He's had a look at his bat, hasn't he? I think he did nick that. Umpire Rob White played my paddle partner on Friday. Was Rob White. He's very good at that as well.
Did you win?
Yeah, we did. It was a good shout, but I think he did get a tickle on it. Yeah, we did. Yeah, Robert White and myself played against two of the pathway coaches here at Northampton, James Mellor and Paul Harris. We took them away quite nicely. No, that's not right. Paul Harris wasn't there, actually. It was Adil Arif. We beat whoever was on the other side of the net.
David Willey. Will Smead still on strike.
There's that bounce again.
Yeah, it's from this end, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which is, if you were to be really picky about it, is slightly downhill, which makes it a little bit more confusing and perplexing to pick apart. But
you would generally expect the ball to slide on when you're coming down the slope and expect the ball to bounce a little bit more going into the slope. Just about got his line right there. Just about. It was a bit dangerous there. Anything on the hip, you only got to beat that one man at short, fine leg to get a boundary.
Yeah, you've got Nathan McSweeney down at deep square. We're going to go change in the field. We're going to get a deep mid-wicket and a deep backward square.
Interesting. So the two boundary fielders both on the same side, on the leg side. And
it's a long hit that way today. It is with the breeze, but it is a long hit, or the longer side of the grounds. Oh, it's a beauty. Bit of a double bluff. Protection went out on the leg side, and David Willey held his line outside off stump. There's the length again, wasn't it?
Good length, and there's a bit there, isn't there? Ben Sanderson got one to nip back in the last over to Thomas Roux, and that one looked like it pitched and went across. Oh, yeah, that's nicely bowled. A little bit tennis bally on the bounce there. Good line. But I like David. I expect something from Will Smith. I think he's going to come at him. He's not going to let him settle.
Tries to give himself a bit of room, and oh my goodness, that has raced. Dissected that tight offside field, and that's raced behind point for another boundary. All along the carpet, much to Phil Rowe's enjoyment.
Well, he went leg side of the board, and there we go, leg side, and that ball was on middle and leg. So he's not just a bludgeoner, this fella, because he's let that ball almost past him to create the angle to get it behind point for 4. That's nice batting.
Moves on to 21. Quick single taken. Very well played, Will Smead. Well bowled, David Willey. Those Steelbacks fielders just hanging on that 30-yard circle, allowing Smead to come through for the 1. Moves to 22.
Kind of earned the right there, hasn't he? Earned the right to drop it and get at the other end, because all the fielders, as you say, Dan, all the fielders on the offside were on the edge of the 30-metre circle. Their job there really is boundary prevention, not single prevention.
Back over to Thomas Roux then. Just the one delivery he's faced so far this afternoon. Slip back in place. Uses his feet and plays that nicely down to Calvin Harrison, who is so quick off that boundary rope. And it is 1, and Thomas Roux is away.
Good cricket that, wasn't it? Just held his length again. David Willey's got good control of length. As your career progresses, if I could put it that way, and in the natural pace just maybe is more difficult to bowl at your quickest all the time. The control has to come in, and David's control of length has been exemplary most of this year, and particularly started well today with that. That one might have been just slightly over length. But he got away with it. Good over, 6 off.
Yeah, 24 for no loss after 3. Will Smead on 22, Thomas Roux on 1.
It's 3 overs in, far too early to make any kind of great insights. It's just interesting that what if we had 2 6s, 2 4s, but only 24 on the board? So you could look. I'm surprised that it's not more like 10 and over than 8 and over at this stage.
Yeah, it's been feast or famine, isn't it? Well, what have there been? 2 singles, 3 singles,
3 singles,
3
and
singles
a leg bye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then the outfield is lightning fast.
Yeah.
The pitch is good. James Sales replacing Ben Sanderson for the 4th over here from the Lynn Wilson Centre, and the man with the golden arm.
If I was Somerset, I would target this. He's on slightly earlier than normal.
Edged and past McManus. 4 runs.
That's unlucky
for Somerset, and Thomas Roux gets his first boundary of the afternoon. Bit fortuitous, but they all count.
The only good news from a Northamptonshire perspective, well, we've got the edge. That's one bit of good news, but is that had Slip been in, it wouldn't have reached him. So he might have stopped it, but it bounced just in front of the keeper. So that's not reaching Vasconcelos. Nice start though from James Sales.
Good pace, as we've come to expect from him in the Blast this year. Has really not held anything back with the ball, has he? Short ball pulled away. It's going to land safe, I think. Just evades Ben Sanderson. I thought that was well safe when that left the bat.
So did I.
Sanderson did incredibly well to turn as quick as what he did.
He is really quick across the ground, Ben Sanderson. He nearly made that into a catch. It would have just sort of scraped the fingernails, wouldn't it, of his left hand as he threw it out. But as you, I thought it was miles away from him. Quick off the mark.
Roux still on strike. Pace on. Beats the youngster. It's a real point of difference in this bowling attack, James Sales, isn't he, this year? He's got to be a good, what, 8 to 10 mile an hour quicker than the Sanderson, the Willies of this team. And
yeah, when he slips himself, probably. Yeah, when he slips in that fuller ball, particularly.
Thomas Roux advances, goes straight up in the air. Louis Kimber's coming underneath it. I don't think he's going to get there, no. Just falls in front of the boundary rope. It's going to be 4 runs for Thomas Roux. Not quite out of the middle of the bat, but got plenty of it. And it's another boundary.
Yeah, that's all about bat speed, isn't it? Because that was had it been out of the middle of the bat, it would have been out of the ground. It was nowhere near the middle of the bat. But such was the bat speed. Just the 1 bounce 4.
34 for no loss. On the money. Great response for James Roux.
I wonder what was in the Somerset thinking, because Tom Kohler, I expected either Josh Thomas or Tom Kohler-Cadmore to open the batting, and obviously neither of those are. I wonder what they've seen.
Good question.
They've got so many to choose from, haven't they?
Yeah, of course. They're blessed with options. I mean, 2 big players that are currently missing for Somerset at the moment. One will be Tom Banton as we get to the end of the over there. 34 for no loss after 4 overs. Obviously on international duty at the moment. And then Lewis Gregory as well, I think, is a cricketer that's criminally underrated.
Yeah.
As an all-round cricketer, an experienced head, a leader, exceptionally talented batter at the back end of an innings, and a very, very, very skillful bowler as well.
Yeah, he's a cricketer, that guy, isn't he? You see him once and you're not too sure. You see him 2 or 3 times and you think, oh, this bloke's handy. You see him a dozen times and you think, oh, he's exceptional, this fella. He's one of those. He grows on you.
David Willey to bowl his 3rd over in the power play up against Will Smead. He's enjoying this battle, isn't he, David Willey? Through mid-wicket. Should be 2 at least. Safe save on the boundary rope. Does the fielding, and it is just 2.
Partnership up to 36, 4.1 overs. I think both teams will be fairly happy. They've got the 2 openers that are in, they're going. They're assessing conditions. And from a Northamptonshire perspective, they haven't got away, you know. That's The worry when you play Somerset is that they have their day. 2 or 3 of them fire, and that's well over 200. It's possible that may well still be the case, of course. Well bowled.
Brilliantly well bowled. Dug out for the 1. It's a high-scoring ground here, isn't it? And you need, is it around 190 in the first innings for a match-winning score?
That's right.
Here at the Cinch County grounds.
And I think, obviously, we talk a bit, don't we, about analysts and research and preparation, that Somerset will be in no doubt that they will need at least 190.
Yeah.
The way that Northants have chased this year has been absolutely phenomenal.
Thomas Rue gets the ramp out of a Ronnie O'Sullivan impression. Cue ended, back to David Willey. Dot ball.
Yeah, there was a field change, particularly for Thomas Rue there, back to the 2 boundary fielders being on the leg side. He had 2 options, I guess. One option would have been to back away and play it through the offside. He chose not to do that. He knew the line would be very straight, and he tried to ramp it, which is a good option. Just got there a little bit early. He knows he's not going to get much width there.
Short ball pulled away over George Scrimshaw, 4 runs. Racing away. When the ball leaves the 30-yard circle, it doesn't get stopped, does it?
No, it doesn't, not very often.
It races away.
Yeah. I didn't hate that as an option. It looks terrible, doesn't it? It looks like, why have you bowled a bouncer with your fine leg up? Well, that's not a bad question, actually. It was the line of the ball. It was a variation. It was a surprise bumper, but the line was just far too straight. It needed to be over, off stump, really, to cause any issues.
Thomas Rue on 15. David Willey just getting the field right before he gets off again. 41 for no loss, Somerset. Rue gives himself a bit of room, carves David Willey over the offside, back-to-back boundaries, off the back foot. Flies away once again. And that hand speed that you mentioned the over before comes into effect, just carved away, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I don't think that came out of the middle, did it? But yeah, bat speed is very, very helpful. You don't find the middle with the hard white ball as it is. Wicket's got a bit of pace about it. The bat swinging that quickly, it's going to go for 4.
45 for no loss. 1 delivery left here for David Willey in the 5th over. Up in the air through the offside. Well fielded, James Sales. Highly likely he saved his team 3 there with the speed of this outfield. 46 for no loss after 5.
Yeah, so even money start, I think, about 9s, isn't it? Just over 9s. Northants will have wanted to remove one of these, I guess. You'd probably say Somerset 5 overs in, slightly ahead in that. Then no wicket down. I don't think the run rate's particularly the issue.
No, not at the moment. It's always a bit of scoreboard pressure, isn't it? If you do get up to that 190, 200 kind of number. I mean, it was 2 years ago in that 3rd quarter final that Somerset came to visit the Cinch County grounds here and beat Northamptonshire by 17 runs to qualify for finals day. And that was a 215 plays 197 game.
Having a little leg side sweep looks an option here.
Sanderson back into the attack. Quick single taken. Gets Will Smead back on strike. So Sanderson replacing James Sales. Sanderson's over went for 13. James Sales' went for 10.
That was a bit of a cutter, that one, from Sando.
Yeah, just taking the pace off of it, isn't he?
One thing I was going to say earlier, actually, about the captain backing Ben Sanderson is Sando's made that even more possible because he's improved. As a white ball bowler, he has certainly improved his skill set, his execution as well. He's the go-to man at the death.
That's going to be another 6, isn't it? Brilliant effort by James Sales. I don't think it was ever going to be kept in the field of play, I have to say, but an athletic effort on the boundary from Sales. But another 6 for Will Smead, and it brings the 50 up for Somerset. 31 now for Will Smead.
Well, that was a phenomenal attempt, wasn't it? Wow. He nearly dived into the crowd.
Can Sanderson respond? As we get towards the end of the power play, gets muscled down towards James Sales again. Just one this time.
Yeah, wicket. Northants need a wicket. This partnership is starting to look dangerous.
Yeah, 54 for no loss. We got 3 deliveries left in the power play.
Get out of the power play under 60. Very happy.
Well, that's not going to help. That's up to 58 now. Guided away by Thomas Root. Classy cricket shot through the offside. It's flown off the face of the bat as well.
Yeah, that got there very quickly, didn't it? I don't know whether he jammed it into the floor. I kind of hit under it. It was very full and it was offering to swing out a little bit, and Thomas Root opened the face. Chipped it over backward point.
Into the thigh pad. Smead takes the single, and Thomas Root, lightning quick over those 22 yards, completes the leg bye. 59 for no loss then, 1 delivery left in the power play.
Well, you don't want to lose a wicket last ball of the power play, but I don't see these two slowing down. If it's in a striking area for Smead, he's going to strike it, isn't he? Well, and so he should.
And they've set it up, haven't they?
Yeah.
This first innings. He has struck it down towards deep mid-wicket. There's a chase on. It's David Willey. It skids away. Does brilliantly well to keep it inside the rope. That is exceptionally well judged by David Willey. He's changed his angle of attack on the ball there as it skidded off the surface, and he saves his team too. 60-61 for no loss.
Oh, wow. Seen the replay of that. You know, that could make all the difference, couldn't it? An hour and a half's time, that 2 saved there could make all the difference. So that's the power play done, and you'd have to say it's 61 for no wicket. The power play has been pretty comfortably won by Somerset. 61 in itself, not the end of the world. I think Northants would be far happier if it started with a 5 or even a 4. It's the no wickets. So both these guys are in and sizing things up very nicely.
Calvin Harrison into the attack straight away. Leg spin up against Thomas Root. That 5 for against Essex. Had a bit of tap in a couple of the games this summer, though, Calvin Harrison. Starts with a bit of a drag down, which is pulled away to George Bartlett down at deep backward square. But they've set the game up, haven't they, Somerset? They've got 10 wickets left. They've got the 2 in the middle. And then as the card goes, Tom Kohler-Cadmore in at number 3, who hits a massive cricket ball. James Rue, who scored a T20 100 this summer already. Josh Thomas himself, very exciting youngster. Lewis Goldsworthy, who we saw on loan here in the old version of the Blast when he was at Leicestershire and hit some big 6s down the ground.
Well, that's nicely played. Nicely weighted into the leg side. Oh, they might run a 3rd.
Certainly going to be 3.
Wow. That was, Louis Kimber was slightly over-enthusiastic, coming in off the long-on boundary, trying to prevent a second, got to the ball at such speed that he sort of tripped forward. And if you're a rugby player, that would be a knock-on. Yeah, he's knocked that on.
Slog sweep. Does it pick the gap? It does. It beats George Bartlett. 4 runs for Thomas Root, 4 more for Somerset. We knew we were going to be in for a good game today. 69 for no loss. This has been an exceptionally good start for the visitors. See the Steelbacks undefeated. Somerset needing to win their final 4 games to keep their qualification chances alive. Down the ground and
6.
All the way for 6. Back-to-back boundaries.
It's good batting that. Hanging back, sweeping, and then recognising the next one's not going to be in the sweep slot, so ran at it And he really did run at it as well and hit it exceptionally hard and flat for 6.
Gives himself a bit of room. Just one. I think it would be fair to say with the opposition that the Steelbacks have had so far this year, absolute fair value of being 8 wins from 8, but this Somerset team will be the strongest opposition that they've come up against so far. Swept incredibly powerfully. That's really well stopped by Nathan McSweeney. That's taken a horrible bobble on those run-up marks ahead of those practice wickets, and he's picked it up clean. End of the over, 2 runs, 78 for no loss after 7.
17 off the over, and it's now 15 balls since there was a dot. You expect there to be far fewer dots out of the power play because there are more boundary fielders, therefore more gaps. But these two guys have done well. They've been looking for the ball in their boundary scoring areas. When it hasn't been there, they've made sure they've got something on it. And this is now looking like an ominous partnership, 78 for no wicket off 7, a wicket desperately required. And what went off, often Northants have needed a wicket. They've turned to George Scrimshaw through the middle. And oftentimes he has provided that. Can be a little expensive, but I've been really pleased with how he's gone so far in this comp this year. He's bowled with his usual pace and bounce, but also with good skill, good variation when it's been needed. And he's brought more of that to the party.
Yeah, a bit of extra height involved here for George Scrimshaw. That's the point of difference involved here. And that's going to be carved away, and he's going to be welcomed to the crease by Thomas Root, carving him away for 4 over point.
That ball bounced once before it hit the boards that are beyond the boundary. That's how hard that Thomas Root hit that ball. I mean, that's incredible because it wasn't high, was it? He hit that pretty flat. Bounce and then over the rope. Oh my goodness me.
He moves to 41. He's now overtaken Will Smeed. Took him a little while to get going. Slower ball, which has drifted down the leg side. So George Scrimshaw is going to have to reload and go again. I think we might have figured out why Somerset went for Thomas Root and Will Smeed at the top of the order.
I was thinking, yeah, absolutely. I haven't seen enough of Josh Thomas. I've seen a lot of over the years, Cola Cadmore at Worcester, at Yorkshire. And he's a very good player of spin as well.
Gives himself a bit of room.
So whether they've just sort of, with Cola Cadmore, thought, well, we need him through the middle. The spin. I don't know if that was another slower ball from Scrimshaw.
It looked like it just kept a fraction lower, maybe, than what Thomas Root thought it was going to. Thought it went through into the gloves of McManus at pretty decent pace.
Just on the, he was giving himself room. Gave himself too much room. It's often the case. Players giving themselves room sometimes overdo that.
That one dropped into the leg side. They'll look for 2. Sensibly settle on just the single.
Well, that really did grip that one. That was a slower ball and noticeably so, wasn't it? It barely got off the pitch. On the pitch for ages. And it's going to be that mixture, I think, isn't it? Pace on, pace off, and then just getting your length right. If you don't get your length right against these two, oof, you're going. And if you do get your length right, you're probably going too.
Certainly are at this stage of the game. 85 for no loss as Will Smeed takes a single down to deep backward square. But it's a headache, isn't it? It's a real head scratcher for David Willey. How quickly does he even go back to Calvin Harrison, having conceded 17 runs off that over? You have a look at the left arm finger spin of Safe Zabe.
Might go for Zabe, a bit flatter, less bounce. Might go for Zabe. You know, if he's going to get, yeah, might do. He hasn't bowled masses in this tournament.
Down the ground. Up over, long off.
Yeah, that's good batting, that.
Very well placed and well timed. It's another 4 for Thomas Root. Moves to 46 now.
That's good batting. I mean, it wasn't the purest strike, and he did slightly kind of just lose his shape a wee bit, but he got it over mid-off. That's all he needed to do. Mid-off was in the circle. If he gets it over his head, he's going to get 4. It was targeted. And actually, the bowler's done nothing wrong here. It's just that the bat had too much.
Yeah.
Good decision making, and the execution good enough.
And already off these opening 5 balls, George Scrimshaw's conceded 11. Make that 12 as Thomas Roux keeps the strike, moves to 47. At the end of the 8th over, Somerset are 90 for no loss. Will Smead on 40. Thomas Roux 47. David Willey turns to James Sales, desperately trying to find somebody to break this partnership. So why not give it to your leading wicket taker?
Well, that's not a bad shout, is it? Yeah, and one of the leading in the country as well. Not a bad shout. Generally keeps the stumps in play. Does Junior Jumble. And yeah, Northants desperately need to break this partnership. But these two have played very, very well. I like the way I like their options. I like the way they've executed their options. They haven't gone gung-ho. They've been selective.
Well bowled, change of pace, big slower ball. Yeah, they have been selective. The worry is they're getting to the stage of being gung-ho, aren't they?
Lost his shape there a wee bit. That was a grunted slower ball from James Sales. I hadn't noticed that before.
He's been watching Wimbledon, isn't he?
Ah, was it Serena? Well, that could have been a wide, that, to be fair. Got away with one there.
Pace on.
Save
takes...
Good run.
Moves to 48.
Well, we said about this at the start of the game, or just before the start of the game. How are this team bottom of the table? Somerset. In what competition does that happen? Yeah, the winners, the worthy winners of this tournament last season find themselves grave danger of not qualifying. But 4 wins gives them potential lifeline.
Slow ball again. That one will be signalled wide. Yeah, you're right. 3 wins from 8 games. Injuries, obviously, unavailability will be a massive part of it. But you look at the team they've put out today, and it's as good as you'd see anywhere in the country in this competition.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue with that. Yeah, all round.
That's going to be another wide.
Yes.
Reload.
I guess the only thing they're missing is mystery spin.
Yeah.
You know, to be that. Yeah. That level, that next level. But the batting is scary. And there's Tom Banton to come back into this side. He's pretty good at T20.
Pace on that time. Will Smead hits it, pulls it off his hip for the single down to deep backward square. So Sales gets that radar right once again. You can see what he's trying to do, can't you? Just hide the ball outside off stump.
Absolutely, hide it outside off stump with nothing on it. And I don't mind. You can live with the odd wides. It's what happens with the 7th ball. That's the thing, or the 8th ball in this case.
That's down the leg side. So there's going to be a 9th. And you can see, can't you? They've got Northamptonshire under pressure.
Yeah,
they're under the pump. They're not panicking, but they're just having a blink here. And James Sales, who has been so reliable so far in 2026, as you said, keeps the stumps in play, has gone to slower balls, mixing the lineup. That's going to be 4. And it's going to be 50 as well for Thomas Roux. Moves up to 52 not out. An exceptional start. Was pretty watchful. Couldn't get on strike for the first couple of overs. Caught up with Will Smead, has overtaken him and has raced to 50 as Somerset move on to 99 for no loss.
It's just pretty clinical, hasn't he? Yeah, his selection has been absolutely spot on, and his execution has been, if not brilliant, then good enough each time.
And brings the 100 up for Somerset. The very next delivery. Very well batted.
The other issue about 9 ball overs is that you've got to get inside the cutoff, and Northants have struggled at times with the cutoff. Cut-off is currently 16:46. 14 minutes to 5. You got to have started your last over. Oh, got away with that one, Jimbo. Good.
End of the over. Dot ball to finish. 100 exactly for no loss for Somerset.
100 off 9 is generally a pretty healthy rate, and then you put 100 for naught, and Northampton staring down the barrel. They have gone for a change of ball, and they've gone to safe. Left armour, sort of shortish in stature, is safe, and he bowls with a relatively low arm, although it's slightly deceptive because he pulls his body away. But he generally will keep the stumps in play. I think I will see Smead and Rue both trying to sweep this slightly shorter to the leg side boundary. Let's see what Safe can do.
He gets reverse swept by Thomas Rue for 4 straight away. Tumbling effort, an awkward tumbling effort by George Scrimshaw at 45, who's hurt himself as well, which isn't really what you want to see as one of your bowling options. But the Thomas Rue show continues.
Yeah, that doesn't look great, the way he's pulled himself up there. I don't think it's about the impact on the ground. It looks more muscular than bony.
Hamstring, didn't it?
Yes, it did, yeah.
Short ball pulled away.
Well,
Is there a chance for a catch? It is. Calvin Harrison takes it, and Thomas Rue departs for 57. First 50 in T20 cricket for Thomas Rue. Highest score as well in his blossoming career. I mean, based on what we've seen here, what a future Thomas Rue's got ahead of him with that innings of 57. That was very, very exciting.
I mean, the thing about that innings is it was clinical. That's the word that springs to mind. It was clinical. It was beyond his years. You know, he's relatively inexperienced. It just looked like a guy who'd been playing around the world in franchise cricket, knows his shots, knows his game, made the right decisions and executed extremely well. That one was the right option. It was a shorter ball. Saif Zayev, as I said earlier, he's slightly shorter and skiddier. I think it skidded at him a little bit more, slightly less bounce, and it came off the bottom of the bat. And that enabled Calvin Harrison to hang on to the chance. And Northants desperately needed to break that partnership. Saif Zayev, he can be a bit of a golden arm, can't he? Generally does that sort of job in red ball cricket. Will often pick up a wicket in his first over.
Yeah, he's a handy operator. He's another one, isn't he? It's a real point of difference. One being a left armour and one being the height. It's a big change, isn't it? There's one Rue departs, another one enters. So James Rue is in at number 3. Scored himself 100 very, very recently for Somerset in the T20 Blast. He joins Will Smead in the middle with a huge platform built very much by his younger brother and gets off the mark immediately.
How much? I mean, wow, so much time now. I think initially he was looking to pull that ball, and then it probably skidded a little bit on him, opened the body up, played a lovely shot through the covers. Nicely fielded.
Back over to Will Smead. Crunched away. I think Northamptonshire, outside of the power play, have bowled really well to Will Smead. To be fair, they've really slowed him down. They've kept him off strike when they can. They've given it, well, not given him singles, but they've restricted him to singles. He's on 42, still going well. At James Rue 100, I mentioned 116 not out of 56 deliveries against Gloucestershire.
Ouch.
That one muscled away. There's going to be a bit of work for Nathan McSweeney down at deep mid-wicket. 14 4s and 5 6s in that innings of 116 at Taunton for James Rue.
Just a note there on Nathan McSweeney. What a great job he's doing out there. Just signed another contract. He's here for another year until the end of 2027. That's been very well received around the place, as well it might be.
Yeah, brilliant bit of business for Northamptonshire. Successful over the first one of the afternoon for Northants, and the Steelbacks. A safe save, got the wicket of Thomas Rue, caught by Calvin Harrison. 108 for 1 at the halfway stage.
So halfway, we generally look at towards the end, don't we, Dan? You and I have a chat about what we think they might get to. Wow. I mean, yeah, there's a wide range.
Well, you double it. You're planning to double it at least, aren't you, from here?
I think it starts with a 2.
Yeah. I think if it doesn't, I think you're disappointed from a Somerset perspective.
Definitely.
I think that means that the Steelbacks would have bowled very, very well in this second half.
It'll be interesting to see how the spin goes over this second half, but you'd think it's going to start with a 2.
Reverse swept. Calvin Harrison is greeted immediately with a boundary off the bat of Will Smeed. So pressure on the leg spinner. It's now 21 runs he's conceded from 7 deliveries.
And immediately he plays that shot. Another fielder goes into the anti-reverse sweep position. 2 men now behind square on the offside. There's only 1 previously.
Short ball pulled away. That's going to skip off the square. Will allow Will Smeed to come back for a second as George Bartlett just wasn't able to pick that up cleanly. Ticks over to 48.
Yeah, you kind of get the feeling Northants are looking for Smeed to make a mistake. Got to stay positive here. Oh, well bowled.
Will Smeed advances at Harrison. Harrison sees him coming, just drags that length back a touch.
His first dot ball, the 9th ball he's bowled, he'll be relieved. He's bowling at the same guy again.
Down the ground. Has he got enough of it? No. Fielder underneath it. And catch taken. Will Smeed departs for 48. Trying to hit Calvin Harrison for 6 and is caught on the long on boundary. And the second of the Somerset openers departs for 48. But my word, the damage has certainly been done in those opening 10 overs.
But it's a platform, isn't it? It's a handy platform. We know that first innings winning scores have to be 190. That's the number that you can win with when batting first. But 2 wickets in quick succession and the 2 in men out, that gives Northants a glimmer. Gives them something, a bit of light at the end of the tunnel. Well, another very well played innings though from Will Smeed.
Yeah, very, very skillful by Will Smeed. 114 for 2 as Tom Kohler-Cadmore joins James Rue in the middle.
My memory of playing in teams that contain Tom Kohler-Cadmore in white ball cricket is not pleasant. He likes batting against Northants, I think.
He's got Calvin Harrison to contend with. Has a look. I mean, the benefit they've got here, Somerset, is the fact that they can afford to have a look at a couple before they need to really put their foot down. So much batting to come, though. So many hitters in this 11. 2 dot balls to finish, or 3 dot balls to finish, including the wicket. Successful over again for Northamptonshire. This time it's Calvin Harrison taking the wicket out of Will Smeed, and after 11 overs, it's 114 for 2.
I look at the card. Obviously, Tom Banton is playing in the England T20 series at the moment, so he would be in this side. I just wonder whether Daniel Sams at 7 is one spot higher than would be ideal.
Yeah, potentially. Craig Overton at 7, somewhere around. Would you switch them around, or?
Well, I wonder whether they're one batter away from being an ideal balance in that side. I'm looking for a crumb of comfort is what I'm doing. I'm searching for one. So 114 for 2.
Has earned himself a second one. He's muscled by James Rue. Nathan McSweeney again.
Gee whiz.
I mean, that's a standard to set for your teammates, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah, I hurriedly said earlier, he's just signed a contract extension, and that has been extremely well received by the Northamptonshire cricketing public. They know how valuable he is on and off the field to this setup.
Kohler-Cadmore off the mark. Look for 2 here. We'll come back for the second. So Kohler-Cadmore gets away with a double down the ground. 117 for 2.
David Wood, it must be very straight there for them to get to. Long off.
Just beats George Bartlett, but this time will just be the single.
he looks like he wants to every ball for 6, James Rue. So much aggression in his setup, positivity. Oh, bold, safe save.
Well, a 200 strike rate. 100 earlier this week. Probably seeing it quite well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's in a bit of nick, isn't he? Good over so far. 5 off 4.
Oh, Bod. Just saw Tom Kohler-Cadmore advance. Just dragged that length back.
Shot coming. Shot coming. We haven't had a boundary for 11 balls.
Not through lack of trying, though, particularly from James Rue.
Bold, safe save. That's a great out of the over ball. That's a great over.
Do you think, generally speaking, we might necessarily not dwell on this, but do you think safe save is under bowled?
Yes.
In all formats?
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go.
Of the over. Yeah, it was quick, wasn't it? 121 for 2 after 12.
It's almost like you knew what I was going to say there. But yes, I do. I think he's grown as a bowler in the last 2-3 years.
Mm-hmm.
It used to be the case if you came at safe, he would bowl flatter and flatter, which is kind of what you want.
Yep.
And he's got more strings to his bow now. He's more variety, more control, as he's shown there. 2 handy overs.
Calvin Harrison, leg spin to continue. 1 for 23 from 2 overs at the moment for the leg spinner. 3 men out on the rope on the leg side. Played nicely through extra cover. Will just be 1. Brilliant work by Louis Kimber down on the boundary rope in front of the members. James Rue wanted 2.
I don't think Kohler-Cadmore is moving brilliantly between the wickets. There is a disparity between the ground speed of these 2 batters.
Well, it doesn't matter when you hit them like that, does it? Has he got it all of it? No, he hasn't. Straight down the throat of the man. George Bartlett at deep mid-wicket. Completes the wicket of the Somerset skipper. Tom Kohler-Cadmore departs for 4. Northants have their 3rd. Calvin Harrison has 2. It's 122 for 3.
He was going with the wind, which was the right way to go, but he absolutely clothed that. He's just looking at his bat now as he walks off. And I got the feeling he wasn't moving particularly well between the wickets. It may have just been a comparative thing because James Rue is a gazelle. But yeah, as I see him walking off there is a slight limp. So he may be carrying something. But wickets are the way that Northants are going to slow this assault down. They picked up 3 in fairly quick succession. So the rate has slowed. It's back under 10s now. And if it remains that way, by the end of the 20 overs, Northants will be very happy with that. Yeah. They may still be able to do better than that, but it's still a decent platform from Somerset, thanks to that great opening partnership.
Absolutely. I think we've got a change in the order as well. Josh Thomas just dropping down 1 more. Lewis Goldsworthy, the new batter in the middle with James Rue. Calvin Harrison now with 2 wickets to his name. Yeah, you have to say Steelbacks have done very well in the last 15 minutes of cricket, haven't they, to slow Somerset down.
Yeah, well, from the 8th over, they're currently on a streak of 22 for 3. So, yeah, they have dragged it back. But, when there's so much power in the lineup, power just changes things. And James Rue has got plenty of that.
Yeah, the ground will not be big enough for James Rue if he can get himself in. He's got himself over David Willey for 4. Skips into the members, hopefully avoiding everybody sat down there in the Sunday afternoon sunshine. 4 runs for James Rue.
Yeah, I'm not sure mid-off being in the circle is a good option for the leg spin around the wicket to the left-hander. I mean, you're just asking to be chipped over that fielder. I'm not sure that's quite right.
Top edge,
To go for 4.
Gets away. Sanderson gives chase.
Oh, well done, Sando.
And keeps it inside the field of play and concedes 2.
Despite his years, got some miles on the clock, Ben Sanderson. I reckon over 30 metres, he's still probably the quickest in this side.
Misses everything, I think. Might be leg buys. Scrimshaw gives chase and loses the race. So it's going to be 4 leg buys. It's so quick across this outfield, isn't it?
Yeah, can count themselves a bit unlucky. There was a half appeal. Went very straight off the pad. Oh, he's well outside the line of off stump. Yeah, that was never out. Not a poor appeal, actually. Big over that one. 12 off.
Save continues. What's interesting, and I know that over was the expensive one, but the success Northamptonshire have had here is when they've been able to take pace off.
Yeah.
Somerset have got Lewis Goldsworthy, bit of Josh Thomas, and then you're into Dan Sams, seamer, Craig Overton, seamer, Josh Shaw, seamer, Riley Meredith, absolute rocket man, and Jake Bull, another seamer. They haven't got that.
That's the one I think they're missing. Yeah. That bit of sort of international quality spin they don't have. I mean, you know, in T20, you don't have to be fantastic as a spinner. You just be good enough and be able to bowl it to your field. But it does help if you've got that wicket-taking capability. You know, the spin that can go both ways, in particular, the wrist spin that can go both ways. That's what the very best teams generally have that.
Over the offside. Is that going to be 4? No. Calvin Harrison on the spin.
That was a remarkable attempt at the shot, wasn't it?
Off the back foot, over cover.
Leaning back. The late, great David Capel used to play that shot. He was ahead of his time with some of the things he did. He played that shot. He was the first chap I ever saw play that shot.
Goldsworthy advances, tries to create the angle. Takes that single down to deep point. So certainly save here has been exceptionally economical. He's conceded 15 runs from the 2 overs before this one.
Rue's ticking. Rue wants a piece of save.
He really did try, didn't he? Has he found the gap down there towards the Jackson Grundy? He has. He does get the boundary. Slightly agricultural, but it doesn't matter. It's 4 runs to James Rue. If Vasconcelos had put his high heels on this morning, he might have got on underneath it.
Yeah, it wasn't cleanly struck, was it? Oh, yeah, it was good enough.
One quicker, flatter from Zaid, but it's the same result. Another boundary smeared away and beats those 2 Steelbacks fielders on the leg sides across the square, so it's not losing any pace, and then it's got that practice wicket block down there just to help it over the line, and it does.
It
4
was
more.
Added pace, wasn't it, from Save? This is what I was saying earlier. He will often go pace on when he's gone for a boundary, and I think usually the best option is a bit of pace off.
That one down towards deep mid-wicket will fall short of McSweeney.
And that was pace off, that one. 11 off the over. Back 12 off the over.
145 for 3. 6 overs to go.
So the run rate kind of almost throughout has stayed around 10s, hasn't it? And we said at half-time, after 10 overs, it was 108 for 1. And we thought 200 and something, and I think we're still thinking 200 and something. The only thing that'll stop it is wickets.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, they've got the power with James Rue, Lewis Goldsworthy, Josh Thomas, Dan Sams, Craig Overton to go and score that 65 required from those 6 overs to get up to 200. Sorry, 55. Get your maths right. But wickets will slow them down, and this one's a massive one, isn't it? Oh, and it's kept a little bit low. Maybe pitched outside leg. James Rue does the fielding, and not out. We carry on.
I think I'm not an expert in body language. I thought the umpire was having a little look at that. A stronger appeal wouldn't have hurt. It wasn't the best appeal I've ever heard in my life. I was well outside leg stump, wasn't it? Still, I know teams that would have appealed better for that.
Played against plenty. 145-3. Good start for Scrimshaw. Into the hip. Rue takes the single. So 3 down, 6 overs to go. When is it that Somerset really put their foot down? 4 overs to go?
I don't think it'll be too long. I think they might go a little sooner than that because they're playing the team that are so full of confidence. You know, they are one of the very best teams in the country, Somerset, and they're playing against currently the informed team in the country, 8 from 8. So they will know, and they know this is a fast-scoring ground. They'll know that 200 is close to par. They'll be wanting to get 210, 215. So I think they probably go very soon.
Goldsworthy with the job to do. Does go. Just keeps a little bit low from Scrimshaw. Dot ball. Crucial dot ball.
Yeah, as you said earlier, I remember very well watching Lewis Goldsworthy play for Leicestershire on loan, and I was very impressed with him as a young cricketer. He's gone back home, as it were, and forced himself into this side, and he's now central to it.
Takes that single. Is it going to be 2? It is going to be 2. Goldsworthy very, very quick. Completes the second with time to spare.
That's nicely bowled, actually, by George Scrimshaw. Pace off into the hip. Nicely bowled. He wasn't quite backed up by Vasconcelos in the field. He made a 3-course meal out of fielding that one, to be honest. He had several goes at it.
148 for 3. Goldsworthy on 5. Beaten outside off stump. Trying to use the pace of Scrimshaw.
It's good, Scrim. This is a different over, isn't it, from George Scrimshaw? We've been used to, prior to this year he has bowled with greater variety, but in previous campaigns, he's looked exclusively to go over the stumps at full pace. And he's had to really adapt and develop his game, and he has done that. And this over certainly so far is bearing the fruits. 3 off, last ball of the over.
Short ball pulled away. Straight at David Willey. A chance for a run out. If he hits, it would have been close. Well backed up in the end by James Sales. 149 for 3 with 5 overs to go here for Somerset. James Rue on 24, Lewis Goldsworthy on 6. They're still looking at that 200 number, aren't they, at the end of 20 overs?
Yeah, certainly they are, and they'll be looking beyond that as well. There's sort of an impromptu break as the batter's called for a new bat, and he's maybe a pair of inners or something, or he's doing something with. So this is where you want the captain, David Willey, to just work with the umpire and try and get some more time on the cutoff. But we have to be ready as a fielding unit. We don't want to be having conversations all over the place. Get ready and let the umpires know you're ready. The umpire's on the mic to the scorers, to the controller of the scoreboard. I'll keep my eye on that. It's currently 4:49, the cutoff. I think we might get another minute for that.
Yeah, it's gone up a little bit, hasn't it?
It has.
When you last mentioned it.
Yeah. So it's going to be James Sales from the Lynn Wilson end. A couple of quick wickets now puts a real dent in this.
Oh, big inside edge. Quick single taken. Very, very well run. Have to say, Somerset have been exceptionally good between the sticks in this innings so far. They bring up the 150 with that single for Lewis Goldsworthy.
Yeah, we use the word quite a lot in current cricket talk about brand. And yes, we have got a minute for that interruption. That's good. And there's no doubt that the brand of cricket you expect to see from Somerset. Everyone knows it, and they do it. It's culturally, it's good. It's passed on from sort of generation to generation. They've been well led by the same couple down there over a long time.
Pulled away.
That could be out.
Has it carried?
No. Oh, you've got to stop that.
Palmed over the rope.
That's George Bartlett down there.
It is indeed, guys, for 4. muscle by James Rue, but as you say, should be stopped.
I'll stop that.
Well, did initially, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, and then he didn't. Yeah. Yeah, Jason Kerr and Andy Hurry, the guys who run the cricket down there, do a great job and have done for many years. Well, that's well bowled. He was winding up for that. That's the sign of how much time James Rue has got. He was winding up for that. That ball's bowled sort of 82, 83 miles an hour, something like that. He thought it was going to be fuller than it was. It was slightly back of a length, so he adapted his shot and just bunted it. That's how much time he had. Lesser players go through with that, splice it up in the air and end up walking off.
And he still hit it so incredibly hard.
Oh, yeah, he did that as well. Yeah.
Down the leg side, I think. An appeal from McManus. Sales thought he better join in at the end. Well, he hit it so hard, having pulled out of the hard shot he was going to play. It caused David Willey to fumble, which then brought about the thought of coming back for a second.
Goldsworthy's got to go here. He's only faced 9 balls, but in this side, if you're 7 off 9 coming towards the death, you've got to go. I expect to see him try and catch up now with a boundary.
Goes over the offside, gets the boundary. That is a glorious cricket shot. That's one for the photographers. Hold the pose, loft it over extra cover for 4. 159 for 3, Goldsworthy into double digits.
Yeah, he wanted a boundary, and unfortunately for James Sales, he just got that too full. It wasn't exactly in the slot. It was length ball, and he hit it on the up, held his shape very well. Nicely played. Just a little bit too easy off that length.
Goes again. Straight down to Nathan McSweeney. That has pinged off the middle of that cricket bat for Lewis Goldsworthy. He's just left the bat there, and it's got down to McSweeney on a bounce.
That flew, didn't it? That ball flew off the middle of the bat, which is a good sign. It means there's pace still on the ball when it gets to the batter. Chat between the umpires about time. They just synchronised in their watches. What have we got? 4 overs to go. Northants need to be in a position to bowl the 4th of those by no later than 10 to 5. If they are not in a position to bowl at that point, then one of their boundary fielders has to come within the circle. So rather than having 5 men on the boundary, they'd only be allowed to have 4. And it sounds like a small penalty, but it's not. It's huge if you're a captain. Ben Sanderson from the David Capel end.
Back into the attack. Got a bit of treatment, didn't he, for his opening over? Went for 13. At the death, a different prospect. Tricky bowler to contend with. 161 for 3 with 3.5 overs to go. That 200 number is just starting to look slightly further on the horizon at this stage, but
depends how many balls this fella faces.
Still in the sights, isn't it? Sanderson to Rue. Appeal for LBW. Oh, Sanderson.
That's a terrible pass. It's a leg by as well. Oh, no, he's given runs. Okay. He has given runs.
Thought we were going to see a Harry Kane-esque finish from Ben Sanderson. Fortunately, Thomas Tuchel won't be watching this game, will he?
Sando's a good footballer.
Wow. Yeah, on evidence, I'd suggest not.
No, he is. He's a very good footballer. I think he played some semi-pro a long time ago.
162 for 3. Goldsworthy back on strike. Tries the ramp. Takes the leg by or adds the single to the score.
That's another run.
It's a fascinating... Because Somerset, they've got the benefit now of being able to watch this back and see how the ball has behaved through the course of this innings. And they'll have noticed pace off, cutters, slower balls, spin has been trickier to get away than pace on, seam up, as it was in the power play.
Yeah. Round the wicket now, Sando.
Pulled away.
Where's that gone? There.
out. Calvin Harrison, the man in the hot spot, once again completes the catch. 163 for 4 as James Roux departs for 30. And Sanderson gets his first wicket of the afternoon.
Well, he didn't miss time many, I think, James Roux. Maybe just tried to overhit that one and really clothed it. And Calvin Harrison took a very comfortable catch at mid-wicket. Hey, Sando, he has learned his job, hasn't he? 1 wicket. And 2 of those ones were leg byes.
Yes, very true. No, he's very, very skillful cricketer, isn't he? Ben Sanderson, as Dan Sams heads out to the middle.
Yeah, he's a finisher, isn't he?
Ball striker.
Oh, my goodness me.
A hitter.
Strahan played an enormous amount of Big Bash cricket.
Yeah, Caribbean Premier League. I'm sure he's been an IPL cricketer at some point in his career. Certainly Pakistan Super League. Been around the blast as well. Muscled down towards deep mid-wicket. I think that might be
right in the gap.
Wow. He couldn't have dissected the pair of them better if he tried. What a way to get off the mark. 4 runs through the leg side.
Yeah, to go for 4, it had to go right in the middle, didn't it? And you're right, bisect is the word. Not a bad shot first ball.
Very, very well timed. 167 for 4. Heading towards the end of Sanderson's over here. The final ball coming up. Hides that outside off stump for a dot ball to finish. 167 for 4. 3 overs to go. Goldsworthy and Sams in the middle for Somerset. David Willey has an over left. Sanderson has an over left. Sales has an over left. Scrimshaw has 2. Zabe and Harrison both have an over left each as well.
Now Willie's on. And we're going to be very good for time, actually. Oh, it's 3 overs to go, isn't it?
Yep.
Not 2. I was counting as 2.
So we got, what, 4.5 minutes per over to get through. Make sure that Northamptonshire are ready to go. They should be. I don't see any reason why they shouldn't be. 5 minutes per over to bowl.
Yeah.
And to be nearly look like you might be ready for the final one with 10 minutes to go before 5 o'clock. Should be okay. On the leg side, off the thigh pad. Fortunately for Northamptonshire, because that would change the time metric slightly, wouldn't it?
It would. Any lengthy overs. Got away with that one a little bit, David. Willie. Fine leg is inside the circle, and that ball sort of just brushed the backside of Lewis Goldsworthy, which prevented it from being called a wide. But that's not the line that David Willie wants to be bowling. He needs the ball to be on the line of the stumps here. Over off bail, really, ideally. Yeah, about there, oh, wild.
It's going to be 1.
That's interesting. That was certainly Lewis Goldsworthy was saying, I am getting 1. He wasn't set up to hit a boundary there. He was getting 1 and getting Daniel Sams on strike. He is a boundary hitter, isn't he, Daniel Sams? That's what
Absolutely,
he does.
Yeah.
Stands and delivers.
Yeah, and it's not quite at that stage of the innings where Goldsworthy will think, well, I've got to hit the boundary as well. I can hand this over. Ideally, he would have picked up the single off the first ball.
Yeah.
And given Dan Sams 5 opportunities, but he's given him 4.
Yeah, and in the bit of Big Bash that I've watched over the years, whenever Sams has come to the crease, my goodness, he hits the ball a very long way.
168 for 4. Short ball pulled away.
Oh, David.
And Dan Sams hits the ball a very long way outside of the Cinch County grounds this afternoon. So 4 to get off the mark and 6 to continue his scoring rate.
Yeah, that's the first 6 since the 7th over. And there haven't been that many boundaries since the 7th over. But yeah, if Daniel Sams is here at the end, then that 200 target will have been reached. I can pretty reasonably predict that.
10 off 3 for Dan Sams. Down the grounds. That could well be 16 off 4. Back-to-back sixes for Dan Sams. Back over David Willey's head. Huge shot down the ground. And this is the exact reason why Somerset sent him in.
I think Dave's got to do more with line here. He's got to, for me, I'd be going wide line. Get it across him. You're unlikely to go for six there. Get those two men back.
Down the leg side. After re-ball. That's fortunate that Dan Sams didn't connect with that one, because I think that one was probably disappearing for six as well. 181 for four now, Somerset.
Yeah, I mean, even get around the wicket. Maybe get around the wicket, bowl at the blue line, pack the offside square of the wicket, and keep your fingers crossed. Getting the percentages in your favour.
There is that blue line on the offside. Nathan McSweeney.
Oh, great effort.
Terrific effort. But it is another six. 187 for four. Now, Somerset, Dan Sams on 22.
See what line that ball was. He got it. It was outside off stump, wasn't it? But not far enough outside off stump, so he still had control of it. It was a very good effort from McSweeney, but he was so far over the ropes when he caught it.
I mean, an immense power. A low full toss over extra cover for six for Dan Sams.
This is a game-changing over so far. What have we got left? One ball left.
187 for four. Single or six? What do you think? Single. Dan Sams keeps the strike. Well counted. 188 for four. 2 overs to go.
Yeah, 21 off the over. That swings things considerably in Somerset's favour, and importantly, Sams retains the strike as well. So Lewis Goldsworthy, although he has been struggling a little bit himself, did exactly the right thing. Get off strike as quickly as you can. You've got Sams in the other end. You've got to get him facing as many balls as you possibly can, because that's what he does, and he's been doing it for a long time. He hits sixes. We hope, from a Northants perspective, that he missed times one and hits towards the men on the boundary.
Down the ground, very, very straight, and just falls in front of the rope. 4 runs. David Willey down there putting a good effort in, but I don't think was anywhere near the picture. The time that the ball crossed the rope. 192 for 4, and power to add here for Dan Sams.
He's a handy man to have coming in, isn't he?
Very
3 or 4 overs to go. Wow.
Sanderson, can Sanderson reply? What can he do? Big inside Hedgens.
That's interesting.
Turning the single down.
You don't see that very often, do you? That what I'm talking about is turning the single down. You know, with in the penultimate over of the innings, turning the single, and I think he's right to as well, because he is far more likely to hit a maximum than Lewis Goldsworthy.
Through the offside. That's going to be 4. Tries to hide it outside the off stump, Ben Sanderson, and it is carved away by Dan Sams, who's raced into the 30s. Well, for those power hitting connoisseurs watching the game today, this is going to be one that you're going to be able to watch back on, because that flourish, the power that he's got at the end of the bat swing. 31 off 9.
Length was the problem there, wasn't it, Sander? That was in the slot. That's
good Yorker, great Yorker. Sams does take the single this time.
Yeah, I guess a criticism might be we haven't bowled enough Yorkers or attempted Yorkers at Sams. I think that's the first one. What have we got here? We've got 2 balls of the over to go. So it's sort of free hit, really. This is a free hit, 2 free hits if he doesn't connect with the first one. Lewis Goldsworthy, expect a lot of bat speed here.
There is the bat speed.
It's going to be 4.
It's going to be 4, isn't it? Beats the fielders. Brings up the 200 for Somerset as well. 201 for 4. Goldsworthy showing a bit of his power. So he moves to 19. 7 deliveries to go in the innings. and 2 minutes, or less than 2 minutes, for Northamptonshire to make sure they're ready to start that final over, which they should be. Josh Thomas, Craig Overton still to go. Josh Shaw hits a big ball too. Great Yorker. And single decline, rightfully so, I think, that time. Straight at save. End of the over, 201 for 4. 1 over to go. It's going to be bowled by James Sales. Dan Sams is on strike. So we were right with 200 plus.
Yeah.
The question is how many more is it going to be from here?
Yeah, and you know, that is an absolute lottery to try to work that out. But you kind of think if Sams faces all 6 balls, well, it's going to be a double figure over, isn't it? I think that's not unreasonable to suggest that. I think 47 off his 4 overs for Ben Sanderson, the 1 wicket. David Willey went for 43 in his. 31 so far for James Sales off his 3 overs. Calvin Harrison's going to finish with 3 overs for 2 for 31. Scrimshaw 2 overs for 16. You may think may have got another over. And save 3 overs, 1 for 27. A decent spell as well.
Well, here we go. Sales to Sams, 201. 6 balls to go. Big change of pace. Make that 202 and 6 balls to go. Can you overthink this as a bowler?
Yeah.
You're gonna, know Dan
absolutely.
Sams is going to be throwing the kitchen sink at everything.
Yeah. You've got to be. I'll come back to that. Let James bowl this next ball, but you're right.
Down the leg side, through McManus. That's 5 wides.
That's painful.
207 for 4 with an over to go.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that that you want at the back of your mark is clarity. That's what you're absolutely 100% committed and clear on what you're going to execute. And then you can run in with confidence. Jason Holder used to say, confidence is clarity.
Mm-hmm.
And he's done pretty well, hasn't he, over the years?
He's a handy cricketer. Carved over point. Should just be... he's going to be 2, isn't it?
It's out. He's in.
He is in.
That's a remarkable dive.
Umpire happy with that. Made his grounds. Wants a fresh set of gloves.
Wow. As the throw was coming in, I couldn't see any way that he was going to get back. But that was an incredible dive. Brilliant bit of fielding. Oh, yeah, he's comfortably in at the end.
Well in. Brilliant work by, I think it's McSweeney again, isn't it? Patrolling that boundary. Down there, Dan Sams, absolutely lightning. Moves to 34. And we've now had 1 legal delivery of this final over, and it's 209 for 4.
So what you want is absolute clarity and commitment at the back of your run. It may change in your gather. As you're gathering to bowl, the batter may do something. And so you need absolute clarity on plan A, and you need your backup as plan B. But what happens when you're bowling at someone like Daniel Sams, and he's, what is he now, 34 off 11, he's hit 6s around the ground, is your brain gets scrambled sometimes and you second guess yourself.
Yorker, powerfully struck, 2 called straight away. They're going to take on Louis Kimber. They will comfortably come back for the seconds. So it's going to be an expensive over here for Northamptonshire, regardless of what happens next, given those extras that were conceded off those opening 2 deliveries. Now it is bonus territory, isn't it, for Somerset at this stage? But it's good for Northamptonshire. They're under pressure. Well bowled, slow ball, hidden outside off stump, much to Dan Sams' bemusement that wasn't called wide. But they probably haven't been under pressure very often this summer, the Steelbacks.
Yeah, you're dead right. I think it's a good game for Northants, just to benchmark where they are, to get battle hardened. Oh no, that was just inside the paint. Well bowled, James Sales.
That's going to be heaved away. And all the way for 6 as well. Just crosses the boundary rope. 6 more for Dan Sams. Ticks into the 40s. 42 now for the Australian all-rounder.
Where do you think that came off the bat?
Off the toe, I would suggest.
Oh, yeah. It sounded like a plink, didn't it?
Yeah.
I think he got none of that. It was the bottom corner of the bat.
It's that arc, isn't it? That arc, that full flowing arc of the power hitter.
Blimey O'Reilly.
Still 3 deliveries to go here. That's gone down towards Calvin Harrison, who's run round it. He's misjudged it completely. Made a meal of it, in fact. And it's another 4. It brings up, did it bring up 50? It does. No, 46 Dan Sams is on now. 221 for 4. Still 2 deliveries to go. James Sales reloads. Still has Dan Sams in his sights. Slower ball. It's gone straight up in the air. There's a chance. And it's gone down. It's gone through the hands of Sanderson. They are, of course, going to come back for a second, which they complete. And that is the end of the innings. Dan Sams walks off 48 not out. Somerset 223 for 4. And there is a bit of confusion, but that is the end of the innings.
Yeah, the scoreboard's gone to pot. So we'll get the right score for. I think it is 223. Scoreboard showing. Yes, there we go, 223. Yeah. So let's pick the bones out of that. Firstly, Daniel Sams, 48 off 16. Even I can work out that's a strike rate of 300, and that's a handy contribution at the back end there. I don't think Northants bowled terribly. I think par here, as we know, on an average day, batting first is 190. And what if they got 33 past that? So you would say Northants, excuse the pun, were under par in terms of their bowling and fielding performance. And you would say Somerset were over. At the margins, each of those, an extra 30 runs. So it's going to be an incredibly difficult run chase. Batting second here. Power. You know, one of the things you need to win T20 competitions is power through the order. And as I look down at that, as we did before the innings started, and look down at that Somerset lineup, and there is power throughout the card. We know the danger that Daniel Sams brings. He delivered that. James Rue was fantastic. Will Smead was fantastic as well. Too many extra balls. I think Northants bowled a lot of wide balls. I haven't got the card in front of me, but I think they bowled probably 7 or 8 wide, something like that.
Well, you're looking at, as a total number, you're looking at 11.
Including the 5
including
wides.
the 5, yeah.
So that'd be 7, wouldn't it? Yeah. Not quite up to normal standard, but as I said during commentary, we spoke ourselves before the game. It's a game that Northants need at this stage. You haven't got 8 from 8. Let's face, a really, really top team and benchmark where we are and play under pressure, and we'll be better for that. Yeah. Now, this team has chased some runs down over the last couple of years, and they'll give this a good go. Justin Broad is out of the side. He was scheduled to be playing. Don't know why he's not playing. He's had an ongoing back issue, we know, and that's why he hasn't been bowling. But Louis Kimber is in the side, as is George Bartlett. So no shortage of options. I think the top 3 or 4 have to make a big number. One or two of those have to make a big number for Northants to get close to this, but they'll give it a go and they'll be confident they can get this number.
Agreed. Let's take a 5-minute breather and we'll be back to see how that Northamptonshire top order get on against Somerset this afternoon. Welcome back to the Cinch County Grounds. We're about ready to get underway in this final innings of the day, in this double header Vitality Blast. Sunday afternoon, we had Gloucestershire beating Northamptonshire this morning, and Somerset posting 223 in their 20 overs against the Steelbacks. It'll be Ricardo Vasconcelos and Nathan McSweeney to open the batting. Craig Overton has ball in hand from the David Capel. My name is Dan Jadzik, joined by Phil Rowe. And how are you feeling about this run chase, Rowe?
I mean, honestly, I'm not optimistic.
Yeah.
I want us to put a good fight up. It's hard though. In these games, you can, in attempting to score over 10 and over, you can get blown away. It's by no means easy. This.
Oh, beautiful start from Craig Overton with a big appeal. Nothing really from anybody else.
You can't win this game in the power play, but you can lose it in the power play.
Yeah.
I'd say that. So,
but then you've still got to be in it, haven't you?
You've got to be in it. You've got to be in it. So I think the minimum power play would be, the best realistic minimum power play. Slightly over caveating that would be 50 for no wicket.
Yeah, with power to add.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the risky run of essentially doing an Essex to what we saw last time out, wasn't it? They got set the task of chasing down 200, a bit more than this, wasn't it? 240 odd.
Yeah.
And ended up falling. I think it'd be fair to say they might have finished fourth or fifth in the two-horse race, I think, in that particular game. And it's a risky run here. Vasconcelos and McSweeney, a very, very important job to do. Over the offside, gloriously played. Stylish by Ricardo Vasconcelos for the first runs of the evening.
What a beautiful shot. Just nudged himself just onto leg stump, opened up the offside and executed beautifully. He's so easy on the eye, isn't he, Vasconcelos?
Very, very stylish cricketer. Hold the pose. Over the offside. Craig Overton will have an answer, though. He's played plenty of cricket as Craig Overton. Vasconcelos down the ground. Can't get it past the captain, Tom Kohler-Cadmore. Riley Meredith getting loose in front of us here. I'm excited to see the paceman from Australia. I kind of feel like the tournament's lacking a bit of real out-and-out pace, and Meredith possesses that and some.
There was a bit of pace, wasn't there, in the Gloucestershire attack? They had Janssen,
Delanga.
But yeah, you're right. They can't be too much.
Offside should just be one, and is Dan Sams patrolling that boundary. Just spotted out the window as well. You got a bunch of Northamptonshire youngsters down on the boundary rope with their scorecards and pens and all kinds of other things, asking for signatures, and Will Smead down there happy to get involved and get signing souvenirs for the youngsters, which is nice.
Good man, yeah, it's good to see.
5 for no loss, the Steelbacks. McSweeney on strike. Sent back by McSweeney. And it's a dot ball after all of that. End of the over, 5 for no loss.
Well, we're level. We're level after one over. Let's call it off. Stop the count, as somebody once famously said. Hey, talking about 0-0, there's some football on later.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be plenty of people taking an early night this evening. So it's an awkward time, isn't it?
Are you going through?
I've no idea. I've no idea. It's because I don't like the idea of being awake at 4:30 in the morning watching a penalty shootout either. That's the. It's a tough one. It's a tough one.
Where's your money?
Got to be us, isn't it?
Got to be.
Got to be.
Coming home.
Well, so I've heard.
Have you heard that?
I've heard once or twice since 1966. Riley Meredith, the Australian paceman from the Lim Wilson centre end, with Ricardo Vasconcelos on strike. Short ball pulled away, 4 runs.
Have some of that.
A bit of a nothing delivery from Meredith to start, wasn't it? It wasn't really a bumper. It wasn't a bit of a half tracker. Vasconcelos, very, very strong on the pull. He's not going to miss out.
Yeah, that was dispatched, wasn't it? I don't think he's going to bowl too many more bumpers after that one.
Vasconcelos is very, very happy on the back foot, isn't he? Well, there's another one. And he gets treated with disdain. One bounce four this time, down under the covers on the leg side.
Well, I was wrong, but he was wronger. Because that is not the length of bowl on this pitch. We've seen the ball bounce, but not from your own half. When it's sort of back of a good length, it's gone through nicely. That one was just banged in and sat up and got what it deserved just about. I mean, it probably could have gone a little bit further. Good start to the over, though, from Vasconcelos, 4-4.
Yeah, risk-free shots, wasn't it? No fielder out there at all. They have stations, Dan Sams down at, or just in front of square on the leg side.
Yorker?
You'd think so, wouldn't you? Not going to be another short ball. It is over the offside this time. Top edge, bit of fortune. But you're entitled to that when you're chasing down 224. 3 boundaries in a row for Ricardo Vasconcelos.
Sometimes, as we've said this many times, and this is not unknown in the game, sometimes you can have so much pace that it hurts you if you don't get it exactly right. The more pace you've got, which is great, but your margins are smaller, you get it slightly wrong, you travel. And Vasconcelos just trying to open up the offside. Just flailed it away, didn't he? Top edge for 4.
Yeah, just bounced inside the rope. Back of a length, uses the pace and misfielded, half stopped at short third. Will allow Vasconcelos through for 1, but he's disappointed he wasn't able to get it past him completely.
Well, I think that was an ankle from, I think it's Jake Ball there was on the forward. That got to him very, very quickly. And before his hands got to the line of the ball hit him on the ankle and rebounded for a single. So he stopped 3, cost 1, whichever way you look at it. I'd like to see him bowl short to McSweeney because I've not seen many people have more time on the back foot than Nathan McSweeney.
Back of a length, pulled away, just beats Will Smead, flat. 1 bounce 4. Yeah, I tell you what, today you've got to have your eyes on this game of cricket if you're sat in the crowd, haven't you?
You do. Yes, please do. I would have thought that Riley Meredith would know about Nathan McSweeney's prowess on the back foot. They played in the same competitions over in Australia. It doesn't seem to have translated to English soil because he hit that so comfortably for 4. It's a pricey over.
Here's final ball of it coming up here. Can Riley Meredith get out of it? He's conceded 4 fours already. Top edge, make that 5 fours. Fortune once again for the Steelbacks pair in the middle, but it's another boundary. And it is an expensive over. It's 26 for no loss after 2.
Well, they've made a good start, haven't they, these two? The required rate is down to 11. 11's not a problem. The problem is you've got to do it for another 18 overs. That's the issue. But yeah, Riley Meredith was determined to stick to his guns, and it didn't pay off for him. And 2 of those were fortunate from a Northants perspective, 2 edges for 4. The other 3, not so bright.
Overton continues from the David Capel end, and Vasconcelos muscles him over cover, catching height, but just wide of James Rue for another 4.
This white ball travels, doesn't it? That sounded a bit splicey, didn't it? Still got to the extra cover boundary pretty quickly. What a start. 13 balls gone, 30 for no loss.
Long way to go.
Long way to go.
Long way to go, but an excellent start. Vasconcelos on 22. Uses the pace of Overton, guides it past Jake Ball. A run down to the boundary rope. Will allow Vasconcelos to come back for 2.
Crowd are getting into it already.
It's a good day for it. It's a good day for it. It's a home team that's full of confidence. Not many would have travelled down to Bristol on Wednesday night, would they? But they would have watched the live stream.
There were a few there. I did see a few. Yeah, I did see a Northampton flag there and a few in. Get in, get in, get in. I think that's hurt him.
It normally always misses the thigh pad, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah.
Uncanny ability to find a bit of flesh in and around those enormous thigh pads that you wear. You wouldn't not wear one, but it does sometimes pose you the question of what's the point, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
And it still hurts as well. 33 for no loss. Very well stopped, Thomas Root. Fortunately, that came off the thigh pad, didn't it? Which took a bit of the pace out of it. 33 for no loss. Change in the field. Josh Thomas is sent out to the deep mid-wicket boundary. So 2 fielders out. Deep backward square and deep mid-wicket.
Normal cricket has resumed. Nicely played off the hip for a single.
Yeah, end of... Oh, no, it's not the end of the third over. Apologies. The speed at which Thomas Rue went down the other end. I thought I'd missed a couple of deliveries. 2 to go in the over. 34 for no loss. Vasconcelos back on strike. Certainly the one that's been the aggressor of the two. An appeal from Kola Cadmore. Comes through for a leg bite. You've said, haven't you, you'd like to see a significant contribution from Ricardo Vasconcelos. It's not necessarily a score that's going to go on and win this game, which would be obviously handy, but he seems to get into those 30s a lot, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. Yeah. It's, you know, opening the batting in T20, some people will say it's one of the easier places to bat because you've only got 2 fielders out. The new white ball we know travels very quickly, so you just need to get it over the infield, and you can pick up your run, so a few dots, but you can catch up with as it were, cheaper boundaries. That's one school of thought. Well, what I would say is once you get yourself in and you come through the power play, you need to really make that into a telling number.
Josh Shaw into the attack, replacing Meredith. Pace on again to the thigh pad. Chance, I think he went wrong ends. Vasconcelos was the one that would have been struggling to have made his ground. Quick single taken.
Tale of 2 cricketers there. Whilst Vasconcelos was looking to the heavens, bemoaning the fact that he should have hit that for 4, he looks up and finds Nathan Sweeney in his grill and think, I better run. And you're right, had the throw gone to the non-striker's end, it would have been a close call.
36 for no loss. Good start to the over for Josh Shaw. Short leg side for Nathan McSweeney. Nicely bowled, nicely played.
I'm happy with that. What a lovely
proper cricket.
What a lovely 4 defensive shot that was. Yeah, and I guess Somerset will not be full of confidence, will they? Because they find themselves bottom of the table. Wouldn't have expected that.
Top edge.
That's 4 more.
Over the fielder at short third, and it is 4 more. Streaky for the Steelbacks in the power play, but they're up to 40. It's that lack of pace-off option for me for this Somerset 11 that I think is the big question mark. They could, and in my opinion, should defend 223 today with the bowling attack they've got.
Yeah.
But the ability to take pace off the ball here is going to be the bit that's going to leave me with a big question at the moment. Josh Shaw comes in again and gets pulled away. Is it gone? Is it going to carry to the fielder? No.
Good stop.
Brave. Incredibly brave by Will Smead.
Did very well.
Steamed off the boundary rope and threw himself at it. Ending up wearing it in the chest.
He did very, very well there, didn't he? That's what you want to see as a coach. Someone who's willing to risk the chance of misfielding it in order to give himself every chance of getting the catch. That's what Will Smead did. And then he put his, it was quite brave, wasn't it? Just made himself a big target for the ball then.
41 for no loss. Beautiful.
Oh, nicely played.
Glorious cricket shot from Ricardo Vasconcelos. Gets inside the line of it, helps it on its way, and another boundary, another 4.
Talked earlier about problem solving, and Vasconcelos has been hit on the pad 3 of his last 4 balls, and he knows the bowlers are not giving him any room. So he got his legs the other side of the ball and flicked it over the short fine leg. A really nice option. Go again.
Gives himself a bit of room. Through the offside, beats Craig Overton, 4 more.
What a shot that was.
Uses or gets outside leg stump that time and times that beautifully through the offside.
It's a bit about guesswork there, isn't it? Or what you might say anticipation. I guess Vasconcelos, having gone off to the offside to flick it over the leg side, the previous ball, would have thought he's going to bowl it slightly wider, thinking I might go again. So I'm going to go leg side, create even more room on the offside. And having done that, he then executed a beautiful extra cover drive for 4. There's a lot to admire about Vasconcelos, the way he's played so far.
Yeah, he's on 32, and the Steelbacks are on 49 after 4 overs. Maybe Craig Overton to bowl his 3rd from David Capeland. It's been quite quiet and sedate from Craig Overton. He's just going at 6s. Meredith conceded 21. Josh Shaw conceded 14. 13, in fact. A ramp from McSweeney. Falls safely into the offside. It's a big number to chase down, isn't it? And you could get carried away with going too hard, but then finding the balance. It's not exactly like on a sliding scale where you've got a huge amount of room to work with, have you? You've got a very small margin of what's the right number and what's being too aggressive. Well bowled, Craig Overton. Just watching McSweeney and being able to react and hide the ball away from the bat of the Australian.
Yeah, it's a bit like the coach saying, lads, 12 and over, no risks, isn't it?
It's something along those lines, isn't it? Yeah.
It's a bit like that. But I think,
nothing silly.
They've not been outrageous, have they, the 2 openers, but they have put pressure on the bowling side.
Nicely bowled again, Craig Overton, 3 dot balls in a row. Pressure building on McSweeney.
I'll be interested to see what McSweeney does, whether he rehearses a late cut, because that had width on it. What's he going to rehearse? A late cut, yeah, okay. Doesn't surprise me. He came hard at that ball when actually could have just let that almost go past him, knock it on the head. Beaten the short 3rd man and got 4. Good start to this over.
Advances at him, muscles it straight at Kohler Cadmore.
4 dots. This is where you'd say, I think McSweeney's just come a little hard. In the last 2 balls. He's had balls of a length that he could have scored off if he'd been more subtle in his selection. I mean, that's a huge criticism because they need 11.5 and over. Of course, you're going to come hard. It's easy from up here.
Into the thigh pad. Oh, Given gets the wicket. The 4 dot balls bring about the wicket, and McSweeney departs for 14. Craig Overton, who has been brilliant with this new ball, gets the reward, gets the breakthrough, and Somerset have got their 1st wicket.
That's out, isn't it? It's as simple as that. Just watching the replay, it was Fuller, and it nipped back. Beat McSweeney in front of all 3. That's well bowled. It's been a very well constructed over. How much of that dismissal was about the previous 4 dots? I do wonder. Had he got a boundary away, or maybe 4 or 5 off those earlier balls in the over, would he have just knocked that into a gap somewhere? But credit to Craig Overton. He certainly backs himself. He's a great competitor and earned the success. It brings Calvin Harrison to the crease.
Yeah, a slight reshuffle for Northamptonshire with the absence of Chris Lynn. So McSweeney moving up to the top of the order. Harrison moving up from the middle order to number 3. They want that left-hand, right-hand partnership and combination for as long as possible, don't they?
Absolutely. It's a handy thing to have, particularly when you've got a cross breeze, as we do here again today, as we often do at Northampton. From our vantage position at the Lynn Wilson end, the wind is blowing quite strongly across from right to left.
Harrison on strike then. And as you'd expect, Craig Overton on the money.
And that is a wicket
end the
maiden.
over. That's outrageous, isn't it? In a game where 223 runs were scored in the first innings and Northamptonshire are going at 10 and over, there's a wicket maiden involved as well.
Comes in and lays down a wicket maiden. Yeah. You're right what you said. There was a lot of skill in that, and he watched McSweeney very carefully. When McSweeney missed a ramp off the first ball, Overton's alertness, he got it well outside off stump. McSweeney couldn't even execute an option at the shot. Then hit a hard length a couple of times. McSweeney found fielders and then pitched it up, nipped it back. LBW in front of all three. So very, very good bowling. This game is often dominated by batting, isn't it? And incredible shots and so on. Yeah, a wicket maiden in a game like this, that is high skill.
Yeah, it's outrageous. Jake Ball into the attack, shuffling the pack from the Lynn Wilson centre ends. Vasconcelos goes again. Here's a question. Are you gambling on a fourth for Craig Overton at this stage of the game? Or are you saving one for later? It's 3 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 12.
Yeah, I'd bank him, I think. I'd say hold there and we'll have your last one when we need it. Yeah.
Gives himself a bit of room. Hacked away, really. Just for 1.
Vasco. Vasco's batting beautifully, isn't he? I have not got a lot of time for that running between the wickets from Vasco. He just walked that run. Now, whenever you walk a run, the fielder never fumbles it.
No.
If you push like Billy-O, he very rarely fumbles it, but sometimes they do, and you get a second. We need every run we can get. You've got to put the fielder under pressure there.
Harrison gets away. Outside half of the bat, down to Dan Sams. Good start to the over here for Jake Ball. I've been looking for somebody to back Craig Overton up at this end, and he's been able to do it so far. Just 2 runs off those first 3 deliveries.
Yeah, good signing, Jake Ball. Notts lad, obviously played a lot of cricket at Notts, and then for whatever reason made the move to Somerset. I think it was a very smart signing.
Short ball, uppercut over the offside. 1 bounce for Vasconcelos. Continues his great work this evening. Ticks into the 40s. Sorry, on to 37, and the score up to 55 with a couple of deliveries to go.
Great shot, wasn't it? Wasn't a lot wrong with it. It was pretty straight on the replay. Run.
That's incredibly well struck, isn't it? Craig Overton on the circle. Vasconcelos takes the single to him.
Craig Overton, just like his brother Jamie, they're just always in the battle, aren't they? They, you know, I like that. They're quite aggressive cricketers. Jamie played some games for us on loan during my time, and just great to have around the place. Just gave us, I thought, it gave us a lift.
Competitors.
He wasn't there to make friends.
Change of pace. Harrison guides it for 1 through the offside, and it brings about the end of the power play. 57 for 1. Vasconcelos on 38. Calvin Harrison on 2. 57 then. You said 50 was the minimum, didn't you?
Yeah.
Fraction above it.
That's fine. Happy. I mean, been a lot happier if it was naught for 57. By way of comparison, the Somerset power play was 61 for no wicket. Northampton at 57 for 1. You know, we're in the right picture. We need, you know, I can't help though but look quickly at to remind myself that Daniel Sams scored 48 off 16 balls at the end of the innings.
Yeah, it's that, isn't it? That's just like Jaws music in a run chase. You know it's there and it's getting louder. Edged, lands safely. Going to come back for 2, I think. Harrison very quick and does complete the second. So Tom Kohler-Cadmore sees it slightly differently to yourself, Rowie. He's going to bowl Craig Overton through.
Yeah, well, you know, I think as with many of these things, there's very little that's black and white. You know, if there is, I'd say it, but it's a grey one, isn't it? It's your preference on the day you feel. He knows a lot more about Craig Overton than I do.
Obviously played down the ground, just one. Well, the other thing as well, I mentioned about the lack of spin, which clearly then means they've got plenty of pace. So to use Craig Overton up here is not going to leave them short later on in the innings for seam up or off cutter or slower ball bowlers.
Yeah.
And if Craig Overton's just in a bit of a purple patch now.
Yeah. And you've got Daniel Sams up your sleeve. He hasn't bowled a ball yet.
Precisely.
Yeah, you got plenty of seam options.
Short ball pulled away. Just one down to Riley Meredith. It's the role of Lewis Goldsworthy that's going to be so important. If Northamptonshire can get hold of Goldsworthy, assuming he comes on to bowl, which I think he probably will, that's a big pressure moment for Somerset and Kohler Cadmore to deal with.
Yes, it is. And you don't want to be bowling many overs of spin at David Willey, particularly left arm spin. So that might have been an option to get him to get one of Goldsworthy out of the way now.
Nice shot down the ground. Stylish that by Calvin Harrison. Just one, though.
Yeah, it's a hard game, isn't it? Every single, in fact, almost every two that Northampton score at the moment, the run rate will slightly increase. How about that? Deal with that when you've got guys of this skill.
Just be another one. It's almost a well for Craig Overton. It's a probably see him out and see what we can do. We'll see what the Steelbacks can do to others. He's been that good this evening. He's conceded 18 runs from 3.5 overs.
Yeah, he's a winner, and he'll be very unhappy where his team finds themselves at the bottom of this group. And he's going to leave nothing undone to try and drag them back into this comp.
Into the thigh pad. Going to be one at least. Harrison's going to come back for the second. So end of another over. Craig Overton is finished for this evening, and it is brilliant, brilliant work from the Somerset all-rounder. 4 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 18.
Yeah,
a game that runs have been flying to all parts. That has been brilliant. 65 for 1 after 7.
Yeah, let's just compare those figures just to show you how good a spell that has been. So 4 overs, 1 for 18. The only 3 bowlers who bowled 4 overs for Northants were David Willey, he went for 43. Ben Sanderson, he went for 47. And James Sales, he went for 53. So there you go. That's a pretty impressive spell.
It's a match-winning spell, isn't it?
It is indeed.
For Somerset and Craig Overton. As we get our first look at Lewis Goldsworthy from the Lynn Wilson centre end. It's gone Salos on strike. He's on 40. Reverse sweep and straight to Jake Ball. Couldn't have picked him out any better if he tried. Instant impact from the Somerset spinner. Goldsworthy gets rid of Vasconcelos, and the Northants opener goes for 40.
Yeah, I'll come back to you.
Please do. Give me a percentage option for that. I think it was quite a high risk shot, which...
Yeah, well, there are 2 men there to prevent that shot. And there is obviously a high degree of premeditation in the reverse sweep. You pretty much know you're going to play it, and then if something goes horribly wrong, you cover up and do something else. But the ball was not there for that shot. It was shorter of a length, and Vasco went through with the shot and ended up really very tamely handing it to the finer of those 2 fielders off the splice of the bat. So a tame end to a very good innings.
I couldn't give you specifics, but I think that's the second time we've seen that from Vasco this year here at the Central County grounds. David Willey in the middle, the skipper, joins Calvin Harrison. He's in at number 4 today. So left hand, right hand continues as Goldsworthy makes an instant impact in this second innings.
Yeah, this is the matchup Northants will want to see a lot of.
On the ground, straight as well. It's going to put Craig Overton under a bit of work. Harrison will come back for the second.
He's very quick, isn't he? Calvin Harrison. So, yeah, Vasco well played up front, and he did play very well. You know, it's those, it's not just when he's out, it's the nature of his dismissal. Sometimes I'm frustrated for him. I want him to make those into big contributions. Where's that gone? That's out.
It is indeed. Short ball dragged down from Goldsworthy, pulled away from Dave Willey. Long side of the ground, straight to that man at deep backward square, who completes a very, very simple catch to remove the Steelback skipper for 2. Huge moment in the game.
Yeah, that's a big moment because David has been on fire with the bat this year, and that's his matchup. I mean, everyone around the world of T20 knows that. It was, as you said, Dan, it was dragged down, or let's put it kindly, bowled hard into the pitch, if we put it that way, but it came off the bottom of the bat. He had to get elevation on that and go with the wind, and off the bottom of the bat, it just went flat and was very comfortably caught at deep square leg. It was only the third ball that David Willey has faced, you know, but you can't hang around nearly 13 and over wanted. Ideally, I guess he'd have knocked that for a couple and got the pace of the wicket and know it could keep it a little bit low and adjusted accordingly. But that's for another day because he's gone.
Yeah, I think that's we mentioned about the start that Somerset had, having been asked to bat first. The power play enabled some of their batters just to have a look in it and go, okay, well, I can have a look at a dozen and see how the pitch is behaving. Northamptonshire, because of that blistering innings of Sam's at the end, they don't have the benefit of having a look at more than, say, 2. Gone. Lewis Goldsworthy's got 3 in the over, and this time it's safe save. Just gets beaten for pace. Straight into the stumps, clean bowled by Goldsworthy, and the Steelbacks 67 for 4. I told you spin would be important in this second innings, didn't I?
Yeah, you mentioned that. You mentioned that. We saw it in the game earlier in the women's game that when pace came off, it became more difficult. What Goldsworthy's done well there is he's kept the stumps in play. There was a bit of a soft one, wasn't there, first up? The dismissal of Vasconcelos, who was in, played an injudicious reverse sweep. Found one of those fielders there for that very shot. And David Willey's he got to drag down, towed it really. You can't expect him to tow it. He was looking to middle it. He towed it, went flat and comfortably held. And then safe save is trying to create something that's not there, trying to create space. And Goldsworthy didn't leave the stumps. Picked up 3 in the over. And with that, you'd have to say the game's almost gone and it's only 8 overs old.
Yeah, it's going to be a hard road back here for Northamptonshire, isn't it?
It really is.
And it would be one of the more optimistic of supporters at this stage to think that that unbeaten run of 8 from 8 isn't going to come to an end today as Dan Sams is into the attack. Calvin Harrison is joined in the middle by Louis Kimber. And with the way that Louis Kimber strikes a cricket ball, those of the most optimistic will have a little bit of optimism with Louis Kimber.
You can't say this game is over until he walks off the field.
Yeah.
Because that's how dangerous this guy is. And I know from within the camp, they rate this guy very highly, not just as a cricketer, but as a bloke as well, as a quiet leader. I think he's been a good signing. He's yet to really deliver for Northants on the field, but he's made a big impression.
Gets beaten outside off stump. First ball up.
If anyone has got an iPad handy, have a little Google of Louis Kimber facing Ollie Robinson at Hove a couple of years ago. 30-something off the over?
Yes, certainly 30-something. It was a ridiculous innings, wasn't it?
It was. Did he get 200?
Yeah. I think Leicestershire lost, but it was still a phenomenal innings. Top edge, going to take some catching, and it goes down. I think that's Josh Shaw underneath it. Puts the chance down. Always tough over the shoulder. don't know whether he looked like catching it
I
at any point.
he was never sure.
No, brilliant. Why do I fall for it? Why do I fall for it?
He was on.
Kimber gets a life, gets off the mark.
Oh, that's hit him in the grill.
Have to get concussion check here, aren't we? Ramped up into the grill. Dan Sams just checks Calvin Harrison's okay, and he is.
Well, the umpire signalled dead ball very quickly there. Surely Northampton get a run for that, surely. Why has he signalled dead ball? He's panicked there, the ump, and he signalled dead ball. I think he's hoping now that no one noticed him signal dead ball, but I did. Because that's just a leg by. Unless he edged it into his grill. But it certainly ran up something into his grill.
Yeah.
But you've got to let him complete the run.
I think Somerset will be pretty happy if it's just a single.
Well, it should be a single. It was a single.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out. Check of the helmet.
Maybe he was calling dead ball just to signal that we're going to get some treatment. Like. Let's say that.
Calvin Harrison looks absolutely fine to continue.
I'm enjoying this meeting at the far end between Tom Kohler-Cadmore and his lieutenants.
It's quite an intense one, isn't it? Considering I always like looking at DLS when it's not raining, because it's always a very interesting read into the game, isn't it? And at the minute, it's 107 would be the par score, so to speak. If it were to chuck it down right now,
Northampton lose by 39.
Yes.
It's about right, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a long way behind where they need to be. Target of 224 with 11 and a half overs to go. Offside. Jake Ball will do the fielding. Misfields and allows Louis Kimber to come back for two.
Yeah, Kimber picked up a hamstring strain, didn't he, in the T20 game down at across at Edgbaston. I think it wasn't a straightforward one. It's good to see him back out on the field. I know Darren Lehman and the coaching staff have very high hopes for him. No better time, Louis.
That's going to be four, isn't it? What a piece of timing that is through the offside. No Somerset fielder near it. 74 for four. 9 overs done. So 11 overs to go and 150 required. Sorry, 148 required for Northamptonshire.
Well, it happens, doesn't it? Somewhere in the group stages, a number like this is chased down from an improbable position once every summer. Is this going to be the one?
Well, it's going to be exciting if it is.
It very much is, yeah.
Goldsworthy has earned himself another one. He's got figures at the minute of 1 over, no maidens, 3 wickets for 2 runs.
He had a quiet innings, but gee whiz, he's made up for that already with the ball. Harrison looked content to sort of pass the baton on there to Kimber. This is the matchup that Northants want, I think. Nice shot.
Yeah, nicely played. Harrison set off very quickly. It's a when Northamptonshire needs nearly 14 runs and over now, and far be it for me to criticise professional cricketers, and it's not a criticism at all. There's obviously different ways to do things, but Calvin Harrison is now striking at 100 with 11 off 11. Has he got those gears? We saw it in the championship a couple of weeks ago against Gloucestershire. Got the Northamptonshire over the line in that run chase. Mm-hmm. Has he got the gears in the T20 format? Up in the air.
Could be out.
A good effort from Craig Overton. sticks a mitt out, was never really in the race for it, and it does travel across the rope for 4. But somebody's going to have to go out there and score, 100 at this stage or 50 balls for Northampton, the Steelbacks, to get near this as a run chase. Kimber could be the guy.
Yeah, he could be. He has that potential. I don't know is the short answer to Calvin Harrison. I suspect he hasn't quite got that. And that's a fantastic shot. He's only going to get 1 for it. That's a well-positioned field. He's wide there, isn't he?
Yeah.
For that very shot. It's good captaincy, good bowling as well. Sorry, no, go on.
I was just going to say, end of the over for Lewis Goldsworthy, and halfway stage, it's 84 for 4.
84 for 4. Northants plays 108 for 1. So what's that? 24 behind where Somerset were at this point, and 3 wickets to the bad as well. Yeah, I think Kimber has an enormously high ceiling, and Harrison is no slouch at all, but Kimber can go to a different league, I think.
Yeah, Josh Thomas to have a bowl from the David Capel end. So spin from both ends here for Somerset. Certainly from what we've seen through the course of the day, pace on isn't really the answer, is it? The leg side, Kimber can't connect.
Yeah, unless your name's Craig Overton.
Unless your name's Craig Overton.
Isn't it? I mean, that spell is a standout spell. Everyone's gone for more than double and nearly treble. That's impressive, that. These are darts, aren't they? That's what Thomas brings.
Good old-fashioned T20 darts.
Firing it in. I'm sure he's got more variety than that, but keep it simple. Keep doing that for as long as you can. He's getting through his over very quickly. 4 balls gone already. 1 off the bat, 1 leg by. So he's not going anywhere right now.
Oh, keeps low. Goes straight through Louis Kimber. Quick and flat from Josh Thomas. Another bowling change makes an instant impact for Somerset and Tom Kohler-Cadmore. It's spin again. And the Steelbacks are 5 down at home against Somerset. 86 for 5. And they have a mountain to climb here at the Cinch County Grounds.
Yeah, well, we just said that's what you get from Josh Thomas. He's going to fire it in with a lowish arm, keep the stumps in play, and if you miss, he hits, and that's exactly what he's done. Keep the percentage on your side, keep it very simple. You know, when the team need 15 and over that you're bowling against, keep it very simple and make them make mistakes, and that's exactly what Louis Kimber did. He went back to a ball there, trying to open up the offside, use the pace, but the pace actually did for him. Skidded through his defences, and that was the end of a short, sweet 13 from Louis Kimber. It's almost start the car, isn't it?
Yeah, it's gonna. Well, I think a miracle was required about 10 overs ago, I think.
Yeah.
Thomas then. McManus, the new man. End of the over. 3 runs, 2 runs conceded, plus a leg by, and the wicket of Louis Kimber. Brilliant from Josh Thomas. 87 for 5 after 11. So it's 137 runs required of 54 balls and a required run rate of 15.2 runs per over.
Yeah. Don't win many games from there, do you? And Somerset don't look like a team that are going to get in their own way here, you know?
Yeah.
They're going to do the professional job, do the basic things very, very well. Yeah, he's a good cricketer, this kid. I do like Calvin Harrison, but this is virtually impossible.
This is an innings to put yourself in Northamptonshire cricket folklore, isn't it? If you can get anywhere near or over the line, this.
Yes, please.
Toe ended down the ground.
Bowled that one from slightly behind the crease, Lewis Gold. That's a very old-fashioned tactic. I like it. Surprise, no surprise there. Row like something old-fashioned. Chalk. Oh, that's nicely bowled as well.
It's been brilliant, hasn't it? From
Yeah.
Goldsworthy, 3 for 20 off 2.5 overs.
Finding the right pace to bowl is a real art in spin. He's done that very well. Oh, that nearly crept through.
Will just be a single. Northants not massively interested in putting those fielders under pressure. End of another over, 12 done. 98 for 5, 126 required off 48, and the run rate nearly at 16s.
Yeah, I'm surprised we didn't have a good look for 2 there. It looked like it was, as the ball dribbled out to the edge of the 30-metre circle, I thought for all money they'd be looking for 2. Picked up the one. Maybe they wanted McManus on strike, maybe. I don't think we can afford to be too picky. Every run's vital. Let's see how Thomas goes in his second over. First one was sort of 6 very good darts, all at the stumps.
Bit of width on offer.
Probably the poorest ball is bowled. Only going to go for 1.
Just be 1, as you say. Dan Sams on the boundary rope. Here's a question for you as we get another dot ball. For Northants here, is there a net run rate question involved as a damage limitation kind of day? Or is it the position that they find themselves in the table right now? As Thomas gets taken down the ground by Calvin Harrison and he's caught by Craig Overton on the boundary rope, which might answer the question I was about to pose you.
Yeah, I think it does. I know where you were headed, and I think that's the right option from Calvin Harrison. It's in the slot. He just didn't middle it. If he middles it, it goes for 6. Very comfortably caught, wasn't it? He's a very good catcher of a cricket ball, Craig Overton. Often finds himself in the slips in red ball cricket. He's got hands like buckets, so no surprise he made that look very comfortable. But I think it was the right option to answer the question. I don't think it's about net run rate from where we are. This could be a final, and we'll see what we've got. How do we go about it? So it's almost like a scenario that you might set up on a practice day. Okay, we're going 16s, we're 6 down. What are we going to do? How do we get somewhere near that? When do we go? Which bowler do we attack? There's things you can sort of practice and try and take out of the game. This game is gone, and now really it's about what can we learn and what can we rehearse for when it might happen another time.
Yep. New man George Bartlett in at number 8. Sales, Sanderson and Scrimshaw remain in the sheds. Oh, it's missed everything. Absolutely everything. That must have missed the set of stumps there by a set of stickers. 4 byes and unceremoniously brings up the 100 for the Steelbacks.
That's incredible. They go between the stumps.
Straight through the middle, yeah.
Off and middle.
Wow.
I've just seen the replay and I still don't know how it missed.
It's like another coat of paint on leg stump and that would have been out, wouldn't it? Brilliant spell this from Josh Thomas. He hasn't exactly got the 3 wickets in his opening over like Goldsworthy has, but it's been as effective, if not more so. Make that 3 wickets he's got now as George Bartlett runs straight past one.
Well bowled.
I think Josh Thomas saw him come in there, took the pace off of it. He'd been bowling pace on darts and now has got 3 wickets in his spell. And it's 3 for 3 from 2 overs for Josh Thomas. And this time it's Bartlett, stumped by Thomas Root, 103 for 7.
Very, very clever piece of bowling. I think you're dead right, Dan. He did see him coming and just got a bit wider. And with a bit of turn as well, it was slightly slower, slightly wider. And the combination of that meant that Bartlett just played inside it, and it was almost a run out rather than a stumping. I mean, to be fair, you're on a hiding to nothing, aren't you, as a batter in that situation? You've got to go before you're anywhere near ready to go. You're not in. You're new to the crease. They're bowling really well. The fielders are on fire, and it's a very tough ask from there. So, no disgrace. Nicely bowled, though. Credit to the bowler.
Yeah, you're on a bit of a hiding for nothing, aren't you, really? There's not much you can do at all. James Sales, the new man in the middle.
I guess one thought here is we talked a bit earlier, Dan, about the middle. Well, particularly the lack of mystery spin in the side, not the lack of, but the absence of it. Yep. Lack is a strong word, but the fact that it isn't there, and in most of the great teams they have that. I guess something that is worth thinking about in the context of Somerset cricket and slow bowlers in T20 cricket is that if you bowl slowly at Somerset, you've got to be very accurate. You've got to be very good, because the wickets there are the best in the country, or amongst the best in the country, and the outfield is fantastic and it's short. So that tells you that if you do this for a living, on that ground, you've got to be very good at it. And that's what we've seen today.
Yeah, agreed. Did you say you will be traveling the distance? It's at the highest domestic score down there, isn't it? A couple of years ago, set by Somerset. So powerful, that batting lineup. Goldsworthy just continues to ask questions. Certainly a bit of hold in this surface.
Daniel Sams is loving cricket at the moment. He's faced 16 balls, smashed 48, and he's only been asked to bowl one over. Lovely. That said, he's been very vocal in the field. It's what you want from your overseas. He's not just here for the beer, you know, he's contributed obviously hugely with the bat and in the field as well.
Down the grounds.
Is that a maximum?
That is 6, yeah. Over the rope, James Sales takes Lewis Goldsworthy downtown to Hens. What has been a brilliant spell. It's been expensive in the end. He's conceded 32 runs, but he got 3 wickets in his opening over. He ripped out the top order for the Steelbacks. A brilliant, brilliant spell from the Somerset all-rounder.
Yeah, he's done exactly what his team needed, hasn't he? To be honest, 3 for 32, you're taking that any game you play as a slow left armer, you're taking 3 for 32 off your 4 overs. The fact that you're defending at 223 makes it even better. So yeah, quiet game with the bat. More than made up for that with the ball.
And Josh Thomas, unsurprisingly, will continue. And rarely gets taken for a run. Now conceded 4 runs for his 3 wickets.
Yeah, I mean, 1 ball went for 4 by, so clearly that missed the stumps. Not by much, as we said at the time. He hasn't been offline many times, has he?
That is edged and well picked up by Jake Ball. Deja vu cricket.
Yeah, this is just great length, isn't it? You can't put your foot down and hit through it. You can't go back and create time because it's so flat. Just perfect length from Thomas. That was a little bit fuller. It's going to get a wicket.
4 wickets for Josh Thomas. 4 wickets for 4 runs now for the Somerset all-rounder. We didn't see him with the bat, did we? He was carded to open and slid and slid and slid. He's had a huge role to play in this second half of the game. 4 wickets for 4 runs for Josh Thomas. This is an outrageous performance. Lewis Goldsworthy's going to have to somehow convince people that his figures were as important.
Yeah. Well, we said I don't want to be sort of negative here about Josh Thomas, because this is only a positive. He's done the basic things very, very well. In fact, his control of length has been extremely good. You don't have to be Bishan Bedi to succeed at this game. Just know your job, know the pace to bowl on a wicket, be accurate. He's done all of those things. Yeah, he found himself slipping down the batting order, didn't he? I thought at one stage we're going to have to call him Minty because he was going in after 8.
See, I like that one. That was a good one. I'll pay that. I'll pay that. 115 for 8. Ben Sanderson in the middle.
Oh, no. There's a slip gone in for Sando.
Well, a few have gone through there of late.
Quite a few. Yeah, not to Sando, though.
4 for 5, Josh Thomas. He played Lewis McManus. End of the over.
Lewis McManus is changing bats. I wonder if it's going to be a cannon. Because I think that's what's needed.
Unless it can hit 18s, I'm not sure whatever it's got is going to be good enough here. At a required run rate, if you're interested, 21.4 runs per over. 107 required from 30 deliveries.
I mean, it's been a thoroughly professional display, hasn't it, from a Somerset team that we know we're in a false position. And everyone in cricket knows that they are not bottom of the table. They're not a bottom of the table side, and they'll have been hurting, and they've come here and put on a top of the table display.
Yeah, it's a thumping, isn't it, for the Steelbacks, a team that were unbeaten before today. Up in the air, going to be a chance straight away. Change of bat has not worked for Lewis McManus. He falls to Josh Shaw. The Steelbacks are 9 down with just George Scrimshaw to go. A team that were 8 from 8 before the start of the day. This isn't panic stations at all, is it, for the Steelbacks?
No.
They've taken on everybody they've had to up till now, and they've dealt with them and dispatched with them accordingly. This Somerset team, very, very strong. Yes, it's 8 from 8 for the Steelbacks, but we said at the start of the stream, this is the strongest team on paper that the Steelbacks would have had to have played so far in this competition. And they've proven exactly that with bat in hands. Whether that was Thomas Rue, Will Smead, James Rue's innings as well, and of course Dan Sams. Fielding's been exceptional. Craig Overton's been brilliant. And then Josh Thomas and Lewis Goldsworthy have been exceptionally talented today.
Yeah, their control has been absolutely wonderful. Control and skill. Not just about landing the ball on the right length, it's how it gets there. And it got there with enough overspin and enough side spin to cause problems. You couldn't just hit through the line of it. Yeah, you couldn't bowl those 8 overs of spin any better, I would say.
Scrimshaw then, the last man.
Apart from it's only been 7 overs.
Yes. It might be 8.
It might be 8.
Might not be. 118 for 9. Scrimshaw off the mark.
Let's get the defeat to under 100. That would be in my mind. If I'm Ben Sanderson, I'm looking at that 106 to win, and I want that to start with a 9. I want it 2 digits before we walk off, please.
It's
not going to be.
Straight at Tom Kohler-Cadmore. The last wicket falls. It is Ben Sanderson. And Somerset have absolutely demolished the Steelbacks here at the Cinch County Grounds on Sunday afternoon. They have won by 107 runs. Josh Thomas, 3 overs, no maidens, 4 wickets for 6 runs. Lewis Goldsworthy, 4 overs, no maidens, 3 for 32. Craig Overton, 4 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 20. And Josh Shaw, 1.3 overs, 2 for 14. And the Steelbacks finishing a long way behind.
Yeah, look, there's a couple of very clear things to say about that. The first thing I'd say is there's no need for anyone to panic from a Northamptonshire persuasion. Rather than being 9 from 9 or 8 from 9, we'd have taken that every day of the week. So that's the first thing I'd like to say to the Northamptonshire faithful. In this game, Northamptonshire outplayed in all 3 dimensions by a team that's pride had been hurt and wanted to come and show, and no better place for them to come than the table toppers, the best team in the country on current form, come to Northampton and give them a good thumping. That's what they've done, and they've done it with great skill, quite a bit of style, and it's been, from a cricket perspective, you can't play that game a lot better than they've played it. Will Smead 48 off 31 up front, James Rue 30 off 20, Thomas Rue's innings 57 off 30 could have gone unnoticed really, because it was probably overshadowed by Daniel Sams, who came in at the back end and scored 48 off 16, striking at a strike rate of 300, which took the total to what was looking like at one stage around about 200, projected it on to 223. It was always going to be a big ask, but Northamptonshire have chased down some big numbers over the last few seasons. The fact that they ended up over 100 short is down to the bowling and fielding, which was exceptional. Craig Overton, 4 overs, 1 for 18. That won't be mentioned in dispatches. It'll be the spinners who got 7 for 38 between them, Goldsworthy and Thomas. What they did really well was they worked out the pace and the length to bowl on this wicket and were just unrelentingly skillful and accurate, and they got the fielders in the right place. For the most part, they took their chances. There was one drop, I think, Josh Shaw, a difficult one over his shoulder. But that is how you play that game of T20 cricket. You get the percentage in your favour, you're clear on your execution, and their plans were good, their execution was good, and it's a thoroughly good hiding that Northamptonshire have got. They'll dust themselves off and come back stronger for it. I don't think that's a bad thing, actually, in the overall scheme of things, to get a thumping at this stage. Okay, we're not as good as we thought we might have been. This is where we need to improve. That's where we need to improve to be at the same level that Somerset can be on their day. And nil desperandum, but what a win by Somerset. Well played.
Huge win. Keeps their hopes and chances alive of defending the crown. It's a one-sided game, though. So thank you, all of you who have joined us through the course of the day, whether you've been here since 11:30 this morning or whether you've just joined us for this men's game at 3:30 this afternoon. It's been a pleasure to bring you the cricket here at the Cinch County Ground. So goodbye from Steelbacks TV. We'll see you in a week when the blast returns to the Cinch County Ground.